no room on stage for no amateur pop stars. Me and my clique don't fear, trashing hotels like some animal rock stars. You opened up with a bang up job, but it's time for a real deal headline. Line so big that I can't find the end, I'm gonna kill this airtime. Don't get too comfy, you make the scene now, they gon' love me. I got the keys now, get your own seat. You must be senile if you think you tag along. I'm sorry my friend, you pegged me wrong. You must be lost man, your time is gone. If you think I give you the blueprint, you better be stupid or else you're deadly wrong. So long I've waited to take the night. Got no more patience, I think it's time. The man of the year, so you're right. I waited all my life and now it's showtime.
You already know what time it is, right? It's your boy Eclipse Darkness. I do this for my people. How I like that. I'm a black, strong man, they can't tell me nothing. What I represent, they try to keep it from me. I done turn a lot of nothing into something. And I'm still out here pushing all they buttons. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. So I'ma stand up, They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. I'ma stand up, yeah, for something. Cause they can't hold me down. I done seen it all. Came up from the gutter, baby, now I'm here to ball. I've been talking, yeah, my ish, so now they wanna call. They got my line tap, oh yeah, they tryna take it off. Oh no, here we go again. Pull me over, let me guess, it's cause my melanin. Asking questions, me and you both know irrelevant. But I stay cool and collected cause I'm heaven sent. They hate it, I love it, they know that there's no one above it except for God. Instead of becoming with negative energy, I gotta move and die. Give me that back, can't touch my crown, I'm a king and yeah, you know that. Talk about giving it back, I'ma come and take that, yeah, I'm a black strong man, they can't tell me nothing. What I represent, they try to keep it from me. I done turn a lot of nothing into something. And I'm still out here pushing all they buttons. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. So I'ma stand up, They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. I'ma stand up, yeah, for something. Cause they can't hold me down. Yeah, they know I be about it. I don't do a lot of talking, come and see about it. They gon' try to keep it from you so you don't know about it. I'm a young pharaoh, pick it up and read about it. Here's your opportunity. Telling stories, yeah, to make sure they remember me. Can't hold me down, cause I leave behind a legacy. And don't believe them when they say they who they claim to be. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. Stand tall. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. Stand tall. I'm a black strong man, they can't tell me nothing. What I represent, they try to keep it from me. I done turn a lot of nothing into something. And I'm still out here pushing all they buttons. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. So I'ma stand up, They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. I'ma stand up, yeah, for something. Cause they can't hold me down.
Few will rise and many shall fall, but a real conqueror will stand tall amongst them all. Put your lighters up, represent it where you're from. If you're a child of Zion, marching forward till thy kingdom come. To all the old and the youngster, if nobody can put you under, stand up then if he's a fighter, show them you're ready to conquer. Make them know that you're a conqueror.
Yeah. We be hot, mama got game, check my team, we like the flame. We be bougie, y'all sound the same. We be, mama got game. We be hot, mama got game, check my team, we like the flame. We be bougie, y'all sound the same. We be, mama got game, yeah. We be cooking something new, hear us knocking, coming through. Push the limit on them rolls, cause we don't do it like you do. We be cooking something new, hear us knocking, coming through. Push the limit on them rolls. Yeah, mama got game. I got game. Yeah, mama got game. Yes. Yeah, mama got game. Rockin' be rockin' the game. Hear them screaming, they screaming my name. We be up on the fame. We be all of the power, we reign. Rockin' be rockin' the game. Hear them screaming, they screaming my name. We be up on the fame. We be all of the power, we reign. We be cooking something new. Hear us knocking, coming through. Push the limit on them rolls, cause they don't do it like we do. We be
won't stop going till a player on top know it. Rooftop, penthouse, sweet. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fight through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion, we put in this time. Look.
you won't stop my stride. I'll just break your line. I don't tolerate wasted time. You take us down, keep fighting.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series Mobile Legends Bang Bang Season 1. My name is ICBaby12. Joining me is a very, very special cast. We have Monshell for you guys today for the Open Finals. We are finally here, day after day, rounds after rounds, and we're finally down towards the final 3 teams here fighting for that prize pool in the Open Finals. Monshell, how are you feeling about this today?
I mean, thank you, Terrence, for that wonderful introduction. I'm just super happy to be here. Well, what a way to close out the Open Finals week with the last day. With our first match of the day will be an Indonesian semi-finals, which will be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to. But overall, we have to talk more about our sponsors who made this all possible. I mean, for one, we are powered by Samsung Galaxy, and we have to check out that beautiful new Samsung S23 Ultra. What do you think, Terrence?
Yeah, it's a pretty good phone that I actually have as well. And also shout out to Snapdragon Pro Series for actually providing us all the processors to actually run through this game. And of course, shout out to Kachi Shop also for providing all this assistance, as well as our favorite drink, Monster Energy. But nevertheless here, let's talk about something that you guys are here for. In case you guys are new to this, first time watching the stream, this is the Asia Pacific tournament format for the tournament itself. All the teams has participated in the open qualifiers for 2 rounds, and 2 of the top 1 teams has pretty much made it into the Challenger Finals. And top 3 teams from each qualifier are as the followings as well. And the second and third place are currently playing in the Open Finals, which today you'll be witnessing itself.
Right, and as we're talking about the Open Finals, the second and third place teams from each qualifier will be coming in. It's a 16 teams double elimination round, and the top 8 will qualify to the Challenger Series. And as mentioned, the top first from the Open qualifiers has already been selected, and they're officially in the Challenger Series. A total of 16 teams double elimination. Only the top 4 will qualify to the Challenge Finals.
Well, that's going to be a very interesting as well because we are going to be playing so many games and so many Mobile Legends back-to-back action for you guys. As long as you guys are here watching the show, you guys are in for a treat. We've seen so many interesting strategies from all the teams, and like Moncha said as well, there is going to be a lot of Indonesian fans going to be supporting and watching this matchup. But of course, before we talk a little bit more on the teams itself, let's talk about what they're competing for. And up on screen right now is going to be the prize pool for the Open Finals itself. Today, we're going to find out the top 3 who's going to be taking the number 1 spot, $2,000, second place 1.6k, third place 1.4, and followed by 1.2, 900, 900, and 500. We pretty much got the results for the bottom side, but it's all about the top 3 right now.
I mean, other than the prize pool, I mean, they're also fighting for, I would say, their national pride, because all that's left is the Philippines as well as the Indonesian team. So a lot is along the line.
Yep, and of course, once this entire Open Finals is finished, we are going to be taking a look at what they're going to be competing for, which is going to be the Challenge Season Finals. The first place will be walking away with $20,000, a whopping $20,000 US dollar, and of course, second place is going to be 10,000, third is going to be 7.5, fourth place 5k, 5th to 6th 2.5, and 7th to 8 1.250. That's going to be a lot of money on the line, but like I said as well, only the 8 teams will have a chance of getting this prize pool when they make it in the Challenge Finals, and that is going to be 16 teams competing it for as well. So enough of the prize pool, let's talk about the brackets so far for the Open Finals. These are the brackets for you guys for these past few weeks.
And right, let's focus on to GameLab. We can see like so far they're at the 2-0 streak, and for PBN Strike, I think they had a bit of a rough start, but they did manage to climb their way back up, and they're currently sitting in the top 3.
Yeah, and for them to actually face on yesterday's game, especially in the upper brackets against GameLab, GameLab was able to put PBN Strike to a little bit of a deficit down below. However, let's also talk about the bottom brackets as well. These are already teams that are pretty much competing for the spots, and we've also secured our 8 teams that's going to be playing in the Open Finals. Let's talk a little bit more on towards Tiger WONG Esports, because they started their journey in the lower brackets from the start of the game, and they've been on a 2-0 streak until they met Evo Esport, where they only dropped the game, but now they're also here in the lower bracket finals, where they beat of ALVA 8 to actually compete against PBN Strike, who actually lost against GameLab in the 2-0 in yesterday's game. These are pretty much your final 3 teams thus far, and the winner of either PBN Strike or Tiger WONG Esports of the series will actually advance to the grand finals, where they will fight off against GameLab. So in case you do not know, these are your schedule up on screen as well. PBN Strike going up against Tiger WONG Esports for the first match in a best of 3 series for you guys.
In case all of you are not aware, this is all a best of 3. So as we mentioned, the lower finals will be PBN Strike versus Tiger WONG Esports. And you mentioned that Tiger WONG started at the lower brackets, and I've seen there's such dominant performance thrown out. And afterwards, we have GameLab. They'll be coming against the winner of the first round.
Yep, and of course, there has been debates among the community as well as among the casters as well. And the debate was, how the heck did Tiger WONG Esports started in the lower brackets? You know, it's either they're really, really good, or they're really, really bad, or they might be saving a couple strategies. But at the same time, what really, really piques my interest is that if Tiger WONG Esports is here in the top 3 from the lower brackets, it just shows you that the region that they were playing from is a force to be reckoned with. So the Indonesian region is going to be something that we are going to be talking about a little bit more. But now, here's some stats for you guys, especially for hero pickups. Up on screen, we have Fredrin, Valentina, and Moskov being the highly contested picks thus far. 59% pick for Fredrin, Valentina 54%, and Moskov with a 43.2%, 19 picks in total. And we have seen a lot of line movement towards Moskov in particular, with a 78% win rate thus far in all the matches we've seen since last week until now.
Wow, I mean, like, considering how the recent adjustments were scary, Moskov is the one actually winning out, and 78.9% win rate, that is insane. But I do like the fact that Fredrin has found his place in the jungle. Trana, we do see him occasionally in the EXP lane, but I think his ideal role is still the jungle position.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And so far, when it comes to Fredrin Jungle as well, there has been a lot of interactions in the sense where, you know, if you hit your shots, you are going to be very extremely annoying. If you don't hit it, it's going to be a difficult task to do. However, we are at the top 3. They know their actions. And without further ado, let us introduce our first team up on screen for you guys. We have PBN Strike for you guys with their roster being Yuji Chenko, Raijo Anzai, Nanami, Bloods Anzai, and Leoni for their roster for today.
I mean, overall, I have to say about PBN Strike, they came a long way, but I am a bit worried about they have great ideas in terms of the draft, but it does seem like in terms of execution, they are a bit inconsistent. And I wonder whether they'll be able to really gather themselves together and for this upcoming fight against Tiger Wong Esports, because let's face it, this is a really tough contender.
Yeah, when it comes to team play as well, PBN Strike has played around on Bloods Anzai and Yuji Chengo's playstyle a lot. However, they were countered in yesterday's game. Hopefully, they have fixed themselves to try and face up their opponents here. Tiger Wong Esports. We have Rexley, Gugun Seishiro, Rins, Safrio, and Dadi Dudedo.
That's quite a name from their roamer. And Terrence, I'd like to actually introduce the fact that I did watch the MDL ID Open qualifiers, and this was a team that actually got towards top 4. They didn't make it for MDL, but they really show such a strong performance. Rins, Safrio, and Dadi Dudedo is part of that roster.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? They do have the experience. It makes so much sense why they made it here in the top 3, which begs the question, how the heck were they in the lower brackets to begin with? So that was a question that I really want to ask the producers, but seems like it's okay. We're way past that stage. We are here now in the final moments. As long as you're still here and surviving, we're going to see more of them. So let's compare the head-to-head for the lower brackets. For now, up on screen, we have Bloods Anzai going up with Safri in terms of the marksman gold laners. The KDA for Safri is going to be a little bit higher in this vicinity. KP is going to be a little bit more onto his Bloods Anzai. What are your thoughts on the stats so far?
I mean, we can see in terms of KD and kill participation, Blood Ansai is having better stats, but overall we can see in terms of GPN and damage per minute, Safrio definitely wins out. So, and based on his like preferred hero picks, he likes to pick up these lane bullies, especially the Clint and the Brody, and we can see that he really wants to be able to win on his lane and join team fights as soon as possible. But I mean, like, that is the name of the game, especially with Tiger Wong Esports. They really are all about that team fight composition. The sooner Safrio can leave his lane, the better.
Yeah, it seems like Safrio will be playing a little bit more on the defensive maneuver, whereas Blood Anzai likes to get a little bit more personal as well. But considering how yesterday's game, especially against GameLab, where they shift their focus and just punishing on the Blood Anzai's lane a little bit more, the DTPM kind of skyrocketed a little bit, especially in yesterday's games where every single match, both games against GameLab, there was heavy focus onto his gold laner, making sure that Blood Anzai doesn't have the most ideal situation. It might be a strategy came out from GameLab, it might be intended, but we finally saw PBN Strike kind of bleed a little after their journey from the upper bracket. So I'm curious to see whether or not will Tiger Wong adapt a very similar style. But all in all, they're both Indonesian team. Regardless of whoever wins, they've got to be proud for their country because they are going to be heading off into the grand finals. However, in case it's just you guys are just tuning in, why do you guys let us know? Who do you guys think is going to be winning this matchup? We pretty much give you guys a little bit insights between both PBN Strike as well as Tiger Wong Esports. Comment down in the comments below because I know you guys are very, very informative with your predictions so far.
I mean, those watching us on Twitch, cast your votes on who you believe is the team they'll be facing up against GameLab. I mean, what are your predictions, Terrence?
Well, that's the thing, right? You know, we will have our own predictions up on screen right now. And this time, for the first time, me on screen right now, we have a unanimous decision here between me and Monshell. 2-1 for me for Tiger Wong Esports and Monshell 2-0 against PBN Strike.
I mean,
what are your thoughts?
I have faith in Tiger Wong. I mean, I just worry about PBN. It's like, as I mentioned, they have great ideas, but execution. And I would say they were a bit too gung-ho in the team fights yesterday, and that they, as you mentioned, it was a bit of a bloody mess.
Yeah. I guess that's going to be our case as well. It makes a lot of sense considering how GameLab gave them an extreme beat down. And on top of it all, their drafts was a little bit questionable as well. It might be a little bit of surprise element there. But at the same time, you know, that's the only reason why I'm making a prediction. You know, the reason why I didn't go for a 2-0 over my usual style of yesterday's game. 2-1, I feel like they still have their fight in it. It might be a little bit of an experimental phase. They have that second life, you know, they have to prepare for the challenge finals. That's why I'm giving the benefit of the doubt for PBN Strike. But Tiger Wong seems to be a team that from the lower brackets, they haven't exactly dropped a committed game. And the only game they lost against Evo Esports, it wasn't really a one-sided match. It was pretty neck and neck. It just shows you that they do have capabilities to play at the top level and against the best of the best. Of course, it's still a long journey for them. There is still the Challenge Season Finals, which is going to be happening after today against the top 1 teams, which of course we haven't seen how and what their capabilities are. Hopefully, we will get to see have a little bit more taste. So be sure to tune in and mark your days for that dates.
I mean, overall, we can see like Tiger Wong is such a force to reckon with. We could only imagine which was the team that sent them down to the lower bracket. So I feel like the Challenger Series will be quite something we would like to witness. But right now, what are your predictions overall in terms of PBN Strike? What do they need to do considering their defeat yesterday? It was 2-0, a sweep. What do they have to do to come back from it?
Well, they definitely need more goal laners. That's for sure. Because they're I'm sorry to say, Bloodline Zai, they didn't actually go for a marksman. A composition. They played a composition where they wanted to rely on an early aggression, which also got countered by GameLab, where they started banning off heroes like Harry, which are really great goal laners. And I think they actually forced a Lunox goal lane, which was kind of questionable to us a degree. If you don't really snowball that hard, it was pretty much a one-sided match. Karina was something that they kind of brought in the table, which requires you to snowball a little bit hard. And oftentimes, in the current meta itself, there are players and teams that still prioritize assassin-style junglers over the traditional tanky junglers, which we do see, like heroes like Fredrin, heroes like maybe even a potential Balmon, which I haven't seen yet in this tournament. But without further ado, let's head into the draft to see what kind of ideas that PBN Strike is going to be bringing in still right now, because they are going to be having first pick.
I mean, it's really difficult because considering how our current meta is, any strategy or team composition could be viable, but you have to play towards your strengths, aware of your win conditions, and know exactly when to strike. PBN Strike, first ban, we're going to be the Fanny. I think we have seen this a couple of times. I think this is just a hero that you do not want to give a lead towards, and even though they may be behind, this Fanny could just come out of nowhere if she's able to get enough farm. And Tiger Wong banning out the 1-1. I think just I think no matter in any league, 1-1 is just a menace to deal with. You don't want to have to play around and having to pick counters for it, because in the end, as long as she's able to get the crossbow tank, you're done for.
Yeah, I guess if you put it that way as well. And it also puts a team in a very awkward spot, right? Like if whoever takes 1-1, like you said as well, you have to pick counter heroes that doesn't necessarily fit the meta, right? Heroes like Lolita, heroes like maybe even Phobius, which is kind of a little bit awkward because the playstyles of those heroes kind of changes the entire dynamic of your entire draft playstyle. So I guess they don't really want to play around that. Pretty standard one so far. Martyrs still in the pool, Glue as well. Valentina also going to be out for grabs. Most likely going to be the most contested. PBN Strike going to be banning off the Kaja. Next one potentially, if they are going to be setting up for a Valentina. No, looks like they would ban off the Mortis instead. So Fredrin is also going to be out for grabs. It's something that I think Rigel will be forced to play, but at the same time, does Tiger Wong want to give them the Valentina or the Fredrin? But what I do know is that if they choose to let go all these two heroes, including the Glue, they are in for a surprise where they can play multiple meta picks for themselves.
I mean, that's really difficult because, as you mentioned, there's still so many good hero picks left in the pool. So now it's more of Tiger Wong throwing the ball towards PBN Strike's court. What are you going to pick up? And then we're going to counter it with the following picks. Because right now, PBN Strike, they're going for the Kaja and Martis ban. I think these are self-explanatory because Tiger Wong has really shown what they can really do. Daidudo on this Kaja is scarily good, but he is cracked on the Franco as well. So I think there's only so much you can limit towards this hero pool. And I think Tiger Wong is being smart. Glue is just absolute menace, but
wow.
You're opening up the Moskov pick.
Yeah, Moskov is also one of the most highly contested heroes so far. It's interesting enough, considering that there are a lot of ways to deal with Moskov, but considering how PBN Strike played their game with their Moskov game, it's no surprises why they want to go for it as well. Even GameLab was when they faced up against PBN Strike yesterday, both games they did ban off the Moskov. However, let's talk a little bit more of the meta hero picks up, right? Valentina up for grabs for Tiger Wong Esports. Fredrin is a first pick no-brainer for them for the jungle, but they ignore the Valentina. They go for the Farsa, taking advantage of the fact that they do want to abuse the early wings by wings in level 1, level 2, which I think Tiger Wong Esports has been dominating their way through, especially when they fight for the gold lane. So Edith going to be the pickup from PBN Strike, maybe XP, maybe Roam, but hopefully, considering how yesterday's beat down against GameLab, I'm pretty confident that PBN Strike might be a little bit more aware that Tiger Wong is trying to replicate the playstyle and just punish Bloodline Zai in the gold lane.
Now, here's the thing. For Rince, this Farsa is absolutely his top 3 comfort pick. He would absolutely pick it up. And I think just based on how I analyzed, during the first phase of Bath, if the Farsa is open, they absolutely try to take it. They are okay with letting the Valentina through. Valentina, it's like, unless you're able to get close enough to steal the Feather Airstrike, that'd be viable. But wow, I can't believe I actually predicted the Franco pickup. Zai Judo is absolutely crack on this Franco, and this makes me really worried overall. But I think this is what you need to do. You really need a hard lockdown to suppress this Moskov.
It's interesting considering that Tiger Wong was going for this approach, but at the same time, they can also look to punish the jungler role. And because it is now in the second phase of ban, they could potentially just ban off all the junglers and just stop PBN Strike from picking up annoying junglers that just allow Franco to do his, deny Franco to do his own thing. But looks like they will ban off Atlas. They don't really want to risk a wombo combo strategy. They've got 2 very annoying frontliners who needs to clump up in team fights, which oftentimes allow the Moskov to do his own thing. But I personally feel that Tiger Wong Esports has found a solution to deal with a Valentina, or in this case, a stolen Feather Airstrike form of Valentina, by first picking first itemization into its Radiant Armor, which is something that I think not many teams go for, considering the meta has been like, what, Dominance Eyes, maybe even Dreadnought Armor. But Tiger Wong Esports was one of those teams that actually did that, which kind of surprised me a little bit in yesterday's game, where the Valentina dropped a Feather Airstrike like level 5 into the game and does almost non-existent damage, which is kind of crazy.
I mean, that goes to show how these teams are able to adapt and itemize accordingly. Because you're right, one Radiant Armor, it's like you nullify the damage that's coming out from the Valentina. I think this is just really smart. Tiger Wong going for the Lita ban. Overall, you can see that they're really limiting the roamer pool for the side PBN Strike. They don't want to give them any hard forms of engagement. Giving away Feather Airstrike to the Valentina is deadly enough. And with this recently buffed Edith, it's just massive firepower.
Super underrated hero. Didn't believe it.
I love
Tried
her.
it in my ranked games yesterday. Just completely wiped the floor with opponents. It's just like you can tank, you can solo kill, you can just one-shot people, and
Max
it's
HP.
Yeah, it's all max HP.
really.
And interesting enough, they actually bought a Feather Light just for the Edith, so that he can actually pop a little bit more attack speed. And it's annoying to deal with, but hopefully Tiger Wong Esports will figure out how to settle this. But they are bringing in the Lapu to dive the back lines. It's not exactly great compared to previous season, right? Like, it's nerfed down a little bit, but they are going for a triple tanky composition, and it's kind of worrisome considering that when it comes to marksman department, there are not a lot of marksmen that actually tank damage to stretch through tank. But Moskov is a different exception, you know, which is weird considering that you don't expect a lot of damage coming in. Benedetta pickup coming from PBN Strike for a little bit of straight push pressure. Kadita completely ignored, so seems like PBN Strike, they're playing a roll double mage composition. Okay.
This is basically...
Jungle Benedetta? Yeah, Jungle Benedetta. Alright. Huh.
It's basically, you're going for hit and run, you're going to ambush and like just pick off one by one, but this is a very snowball kind of composition. They basically have no tank. Edith is a pseudo tank, to be honest, and because of her recent, I would say, buff, you definitely want to have more damage on her because otherwise you're just nullifying her value. Beatrix's pickup, honestly, I'm quite surprised, but I would say Beatrix overall, even though her win rate is not the best fighting, overall still a very solid marksman in lane.
Well, seems like the drafts has been set as well. PBN Strike gonna be bringing something new to the table. Tiger Wong Esports. Wait a minute. Something's not right here. Seems like we've pretty much swapped the drafts a little bit.
No, I'm seeing double. I'm seeing double, my friend.
Okay, I'm lost. I'm lost now.
I think one way for us to really confirm is until we jump right into the game. But I am a bit worried for PBN Strike if they do not pull off this double mage strategy and they're unable to like snowball off these kills. They are basically really squishy targets.
I guess if you put it that way. So hopefully, you know, they will find a way to actually deal with it as well. But without further ado, we're going to be starting things off with the lower bracket finals. This is going to be PBN Strike going up against Tiger Wong on the red side, And based on the draft hero pickups as well, seems like we were right. You know, the first phase draft in the initial phase is correct. But interesting enough, PBN Strike actually going for a jungle Edith. Never seen that before. What are you thinking, PBN Strike? What are you thinking again?
Oh!
But first blood starts off on the top side. They do get the first kill on towards Rinse from PBN Strike. So a little bit unexpected, but at the same time, that's the thing about double majors. You don't necessarily have the strongest invade against a very tanky composition for Tiger Wong Esports.
I mean, that was the danger. I guess Rince was trying to make sure that Gugun's buff doesn't get stolen, but is taken out of the picture, becoming first blood in the first minute. But I would say Jungle Edith was a bit of a cheese strat that I played back then before her buff. It was like a really last-minute decision because no one wanted to jungle. I'm just like, well, F it, I guess I have to try.
I guess it seems that way, but it seems like they do start a fight as well. They do catch off Gugun. Gugun will be able to go away, but he cannot pop the combo for the Appraisal's Grab. So he's going to be picked off. So this is going to be the invades coming from PBN Strike, and they do chip him away. Daddy do the duo. Gonna be down towards 1 HP, will be forced to recall back. PBN Strike with an early start and taking 1k economy lead against Tiger Wong.
They're really abusing the fact that Edith at level 4 have so much early game damage and they're just constantly invading. You think they have enough pressure with a double mage comp, but with a jungle Edith, this cheese strat is actually working.
Yeah, somehow. And as of yet, Tiger Wong Esports, they do know that Edith doesn't have to out yet, so they are going to try to take advantage to try and pressure this. And PBN Strike, they know for a fact it's just not worth it to challenge this. Concede this, they go in for the reset and hope to fight another day. However, Nanami has something to say about it. He's thinking to go for the Petrify. He does have it as well. Lacto Final Blow comes in, but the Edith comes in the right moment, steals it away, pays for this prize with the Benedetta. Hopefully, they will be able to trade Gugun in the process. He doesn't have the combos for the Appraisal's Draft, but the bite coming in from the Franco is going to keep him in place. The stolen one on top, and with the Ocean's Breath coming in from Leone, they do get a 2-for-1 exchange.
I can't believe it. They're considering they were already like that. Turtle was so low, but the minute Rizal joins back into the fight, he gets it and gets a kill on the board. Dairydudo, I don't think you wanted to hook that particular person and you're going to get bursted down. And overall, in terms of the itemizations, okay, she is going for that Molten Essence for that, a bit more of that early game damage to assist in able to clear jungle camps even faster. The fact that he has Demon Slayer makes it even faster. This Edith just won the snowball out of control.
I've never seen an Edith play like that before, but at the same time, going Molten Essence, you know, clearing waves a little bit fast is great and all. But the question remains here is that Tiger Wong Esports, they haven't been able to find their momentum, you know. Like Dadi Dudado, you know, the idea is great with Franco, but you have to give credit to Eugenchenko. He's stolen a very nice auto on that as well. Using an advantage is great, but here comes a Kadita, here comes a one-shot as well. Valentina gonna be in a little bit of trouble, still steals away the Bloody Hunt for now. Blood's Anzai gonna be showing his saves, but he is severely under manpower for now, so he's gonna back off for now and try and farm up a little bit, I guess.
I mean, that's ideal. I think Blood Anzai, like, taking the smart move, you're not gonna jump right in. And just like, oh my, just like that. That is a kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, that's tough. That is tough for Gugun. You cannot deny this. Like, there's double Petrifies from PBN Strike. You've got an Edith Wombo combo set up. It's almost nearly impossible for a Fredin to chain up his CCs to build up a Brace's Grab. And now, even here as well, Leone pops the Ocean's Grab. Boom, one shot. That is going to be the Franco down. Feather Ezra is there, but it barely takes Leone. Leone trying to set up for a little bit more potential fight. He's got the passive, but the turtle is going to be in place. PBN Strike this time gonna secure the second turtle again.
You mentioned how Tiger Wong is unable to like find any opening, any farm, because PBN is really setting the tempo, and that's their win condition. They have to be able to snowball and keep getting these pickoffs. And once again, another Breath of the Ocean right into it, and he is done for.
Oh, they trade 1-for-1. Blood Anzai is still in the vicinity. He pops the Inspired to prolong the fight. They do pick off the Beatrix, which is huge for PBN Strike. But from behind, Gugun is here. So is the Lapu Lapu. They get a big swing, but where's the damage? They don't seem to have it as well. Kadita finally joins the fight, but at the same time, they just don't have the mobility to punish Blood Anzai, and they will settle with Leone instead for Tiger Wong Esports.
Okay, with all those kills aboard, they kind of like are able to chase back in terms of the economy, but it is really rough for them, because how are you going to itemize against all of the bursts, as well as having to watch out for Nanami as well as Blood's Anzai?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Considering that if you pay attention to Blood's Eye, he's actually going for a little bit more mobility marksmanism rather than the weapons master. And over time, Sapphire is going to hit really, really hard. And as of yet, Sapphire doesn't have a shoe. He's going for a little bit more, I would say, safer approach, just staying in the lane, which is something that I don't personally like. But if they do get those timings in, Tiger Wong Esports is going to be able to find a way to make a comeback in this game. And I guess right now, PBN Strike is the best time to actually punish this, considering that we will not see a potential Beatrix. This middle tower pretty much going to be conceded as well. There's nothing Tiger Wong Esports can do as of yet.
They absolutely should not fight right now. They need to buy as much time as soon as possible. Beatrix taking the top side turret is a great strategy because right now the idea is like they have to be able to create enough space across the map.
Oh, it's going to be tough. It's
rough.
definitely going to be rough for them. But as of yet, it's all about dodging fights and finding opportunities. As long as no one can sustain Leonie's one-shot combo, it's going to be very, very difficult to do so. They're a little bit afraid to actually push out as well. PBN Strike, however, is going to be in the vicinity. Leonie almost thinking about going for the die, but the purple buff will be secured by Guggen for now. Turtle, third one is going to be up as well. Raijo already in position for PBN Strike. Tiger Wong, do they want to fight this? It seems like they want to. Leonie is trying to challenge them as well. Dadi-do-do-do. He does have the bite, doesn't go for it, but the turtle gets picked up very quickly, and PBN Strike looking to try and re-engage, but Tiger Wong says, you know what, it's just not worth it. Buy time, and buy time.
I don't think they should have fought. I think it could have gone bloody, and Conceal has been popped, trying to go in to try to find the next target, and it will be Rizal.
Oh my goodness, they popped the Ocean Breath, but they couldn't get the one-shot on Razor. This is huge for Tiger Wong Esports. They've expended so much ultimate in this fight, and Gugu now is half HP, gets a two-man top, but where's the connection? Rexy comes in, but he completely dodges. Frederick now in a little bit of trouble, gets picked off by the Beatrix, but Safri will say, I'll trade for you, but another hook coming in from Dada-do-do-do to catch off Leonie. However, no follow-up for him, so they do trade a couple of bodies here and there, but once again, Gugun taking the bite from that fight still.
Again, I guess your jungler for your EXP laner is definitely not ideal, but considering all that, I was so surprised that they were unable to actually take out Rins from that.
Oh,
but
no.
I think I spoke too soon.
Yeah. You know, if you fail once, it's okay. Try again, and eventually you will get it. In this case, Leonie finally takes him out. So this is actually huge for PBNs, right? Because it gives them so much more space and momentum to actually set up for this next Lord fight. 40 seconds there is a lot of time. However, Tiger Wong Esports, they need to make sure one thing that is a fact right now. Safrio needs to come online. He's got the Blade of Despair. He's looking for a potential Malefic Robe, maybe even a Heptasis. But once that is up, PBN Strike is going to shred into pieces. In this case, Benedetta doesn't have the strongest defense as well. Went for the physical damage output for PBN Strike. It's going to be tough, you know. It all comes down to that one big hook from Dadi. Is it the right target to actually change the entire tide of the fight? And they just need to be patient about this.
I think overall, what really concerns me with Tiger Wong is that as the Open Finals progress, they're becoming really predictable. This Farsa pick, it was something I see that but could easily be countered by something like the Kadita, as we see.
Oh no. They go in for the back fights as well. Leonie, he missed his combo. He's going to get picked off. He eventually goes down. However, Nanami trying his best to actually trade off, but unfortunately, they just don't have the damage to do so. And this is exactly what Tiger Wong Esports has been looking out for. Build enough items to sustain the burst from the Ocean's Breath, and this is exactly go time. It's 5v4, but they need to shove the lanes. They're still playing it patiently as well. PBN Strike trying to pay a little bit more time. Leonie is 5 seconds on the sidelines, and Tiger Wong says, we are going to try and force a fight on the side, and they pick off the Nami. Huge pick off for them. They're isolated, and this is go time for Tiger Wong for map control. However, they are calling it Kadita. Kadita is still a little bit far off. They're playing it safe, but from behind, Yujichenko in the vicinity, they don't exactly want to risk it yet. They cannot afford to lose their jungler right here. Raijo opening up his fight. Radiant Armor purchase from Dadi Dudado is going to help out a little, but seems like it's just not worth it. They're still 2k behind. Not necessarily the best ideal fight, but the Lord, with 20% left, they want to go for the fight.
Overall, they're resetting Lord. They're going in for this fight. They are able to take out Rizal, but the fight is keep going on.
And oh my goodness, they pick up Yujichenko, they isolate the fight, but the Lord, it gets resetted as well. 2 men down for Raijo. This is huge for Tiger Wong Esports. They managed to punish Edith with this play, but at the same time, they're so afraid of risking Gugun's life right now. It's just not worth it, even though Edith is down. As long as the Kadita is alive, it's just so difficult to do so. But as soon as I say this, you can see Leone, he's trying to bait this out. They finally start the Lord. The Lord is in an awkward position. Blood's Anzai still alive as well. He's got the damage, but guess what? Tiger Wong says, we want to chase him out of the lane, and they finally get to do so. A little bit far off. The Lord is down a little bit low. Do they get the steal? Retribution as well. The Storm doesn't come in, but Tiger Wong, they will get it. They also collect Blood's Anzai on the sides. The Kadena pops the Ocean Breath, connecting absolutely nothing. The Nami trying to extend the fight. They get a two-man Petrify. They call in the Edith. They get the chain stun, but again they take off Gugun. Does he have the Appraiser's Wrath? No, he does not. He does. He turns around, but unfortunately the rest of his teammates is a little bit too far off, getting zoned off, and they do not fight this anymore. They're just gonna counter Lucky Stars and back out.
They're just lucky that Blood's Anzai was not, he's down for the count and did not participate in that fight, because that was going like south so fast. You see how fast they're able to take down this Fredrin.
Oh my goodness, this is so very difficult, but it is going to be a little bit more space now for Tiger Wong Esports. However, PBN Strike, they managed to equalize a little bit more. They still have a little bit of a lead, but it's still going to take a little bit more time. Blood's Anzai, he's progressing to the final item, but Tiger Wong Esports, they've got to be very happy with this. Ever since Dadidudu got his Radiant Armor, things has been going well, especially for Raisho. However, Raisho walking in the wrong bush. He gets focused down, gets taken down. No either of the next fight. The hook comes in almost
so close,
connecting as well. And Safrio now going to be playing a little bit safe as well.
No.
Tiger Wong, they will lose Rins from Leone. Great pickup for him, but it's just not worth it to continue this fight. And they will try to play it safe for now.
I mean, these are pickoffs after pickoffs. And I would say for both these teams, like Tiger Wong, as you mentioned, they're so happy they're able to create space and buy time, because overall, in terms of team fights, as long as they do not get caught out of position, they can absolutely win. But unfortunately for Gugun, 1-5-6 on this Fredrin is really not ideal.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, even though you're able to build up, he has to go for the Guardian Helmet to sustain, and he finally picks up that Radiant Armor. Like, finally, man, it's like you're gonna get taken out so quickly by this combo from the Kadena. And I mean, if you're not aware, Ryzel's ult is magic damage.
Yeah.
No Wind of Nature can save you.
Yeah, exactly. Even the passive ability as well. But eventually, this gives a lot of opportunity for Blood's Anzai to get free unrestricted fights, right? If you think about it, Gugun has got only a Blade Armor, which is pretty much the only physical defense to deal with the Moskov. So eventually, they need to find a way to punish Blood's Anzai. And who can do it better than Rins, right? If Rins gets taken out, they pretty much lose all control of just catching maybe Blood's Anzai, maybe Raisho to a certain degree. And to a point that Raisho has no choice but to build a Tina shield now just to deal with it. However, he will start with a fight, but he gets counter hook instead. Gugun will still survive this, but he won't be able to back up. But from the back lines, like Leone cuts it off. They take down Riz. They found Safrio, and now PBN will slowly pick the pieces, allowing Blood's Anzai to kill them all.
They're going for it.
They're looking for the fifth. Gugun now getting taunted as well. He needs to run away, and with him alone, there's absolutely nothing he can do. Blood's Anzai in full control of this situation. This might be game. PBN Strike takes game 1 against Tiger Wong Esports.
In such fashion, 13 minutes, PBN takes down Tiger Wong. That will be their victory.
Oh my goodness. The team that put them down, it might be PBN Strike, considering how much of a lead they had in game number 1. They brought in something that's very comfortable with them. The Edith jungle worked out in their favor and came up on top. However, let's talk through the highlights a little bit on how PBN Strike went up against Tiger Wong Esports. This is something that I didn't exactly expect this to happen. Like, this first total engagement kind of was a little bit awkward for me, considering that, you know, Raisho kind of recalled back, came in, somehow got a retreat steal, and just completely pushed away Tiger Wong Esports all the way through.
I think they felt like they were thinking, okay, they're away from the objective. I could take this fight, but I think they just caught really off guard by the amount of aggression that PBN Strike continued to like funnel out. They really weren't expecting this. Eve the Jungle, I bet, never even crossed our minds. But this really worked out in terms of the snowball composition I was talking about. They really played towards their strength. Tiger Wong, unfortunately for Rins, who is usually stellar on this Farsa, keeps getting caught out. He's just like constantly being chased down. And these last few moments, even the death timers are not significantly long. But if your team is white, there's nothing much you can do. Your crystal's exposed, and PBN Strike is just going to take this game.
This is crazy coming from PBN PBN Strike, right? Like, if you pay, it's interesting to see how they were struggling all the way from Tiger Wong Esports, and who could not blame them? Because if you think about it, Leone is everywhere. Every single time they try to set a melee, his Ocean Breath is gonna one-shot someone, and there's no surprise why he's the MVP for the match on game number 1. You can see he's got the Clock of Destiny. Went for a Genius One. I was expecting maybe a Lightning Trunket.
No
but
way,
considering that
man.
the Genius One kind of helps the Edith kind of amplify the damage throughout the fight, it's no surprises. But at the same time, if you think about it, Raito didn't exactly got a single kill. So I'm not exactly sure what was going on, but I'm curious to see what kind of damage Raito has been dishing out in this fight.
I'm really curious as well, but overall I would say going for the Genius One, wow.
27,000, okay.
Okay.
I was expecting a little bit more than that, but alright, I guess, you know, the idea is there, but you know, it's pretty much the Leone show coming from PBN Strike for game 1, I guess.
I mean, just based on how he was building, Raizo was definitely the one to really set up for the team perfectly for Leone. Overall, like, going for Genius and Divine Glaive ensured that the team was going to have so much peel, and Tiger Wong Esports just caught completely off guard.
Yeah, it's weird to see how things are progressing into this stage, because I was expecting a little bit more coming from Tiger Wong. They tried, but it all came down to mistakes, right? I think over the weeks as well in terms of draft, there are teams that kind of ban off the Kadita when they face off against PBN Strike. It makes a lot of sense as well. Double mage, you know, especially for a roaming mage, is something that not many teams experiment and play around with.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
You're not used to it, but they are teams that are really good at it. And in this case, you know, who needs defense when you can go full offense? In this case, you know, PBN Strike played it to the textbook. The Kadita was just so aggressive, able to find so many opportunities and just completely scare off Tiger Wong Esports. So I guess Tiger Wong is in a situation where they need to back out, they need to reset and figure out what needs to be fixed for game number 2 and game number 3.
I mean, overall, we could talk all about this, but we have to thank our wonderful sponsors for making this Snapdragon Pro Series possible. Of course, none other, Snapdragon Elite Gaming. Overall, like, is your game, is your phone heating up and you're having trouble, your games are lagging, Snapdragon is the one for you.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you know, when winning matters the most, you gotta have Snapdragon with you guys to actually bring you through from the entirety fight. But of course, if you guys looking for a pretty good phone to actually check out, why don't you guys stick around to find out and check out the Galaxy S23 Ultra, where you can also share the epic and also level up your gameplays in Mobile Legends action. It's one of the best phones out there. You wanna take selfies, you've got the cameras, you like to take cameras, you like to take pictures, this is the phone, you gotta check it out. And of course, if you guys feeling a little bit down low, need some energy, guess what? We've got monster energy for you guys. Remember to unleash your inner beast. If you guys love working out, you know, you need those energies. You gotta flex here and there, you know.
You woke up early this morning to work out, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I definitely did. I feel a little bit tight on my chest as well, so I gotta have some monster energy, and which I did apparently, because it's right here as well. Because it's one of the best drinks ever.
Right in the fridge of our production. Thank you so much. And of course, we can't not
I just
forget.
got caught red-handed stealing off the fridge
No
as well.
way. But of course, like, you're aware of the recent Jujutsu Kaisen collaboration. That's why, like, consider going to Kachi shop to get your money's worth off these game top-ups. Because, like, come on, like, I mean, how much? I really don't know how much I need to spend to get that Gojo skin. I swear, it's so difficult.
6K diamonds.
No.
Guilty as charged. Thank you, Kaichi Shop, for making my life a little bit easier, but 6K if you're super unlucky. That's the guarantee amount.
6K?
Yeah, 6K diamonds, okay? Check it out on Kaichi Shop, and of course, we're going to be taking a very short break before we come back into this game number 2. So be sure to stick around for this upcoming match, because I'm excited to see who comes up on top, where they will be facing off into the grand finals. Is it PBN Strike or is it Tiger Wong Esports? See you guys right after this break.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
And I'm up the beat. When they all look, everything on fleek. Word in the street, got my sound on repeat. Do it all day, every day of the week. Getting turned up, we feeling lively. On the dance floor, where you gonna find me? Here comes the drop, it's time to party. Here comes the drop, it's time to party. mad up the beat. When they all look, everything on fleek. Do it all day, every day. Mad up the beat. When they all look, everything on fleek. Do it all day, every day. Every day of the week, getting time out, we feeling lively. On the dance floor, where you gonna find me? Here comes the drop, it's time to party. Here comes the drop, it's time to party.
You got problems, just let them go. Tonight I really wanna see you lose control. A lot of drinks and flashing lights. Don't just make you wanna go and start a fight. Don't it make you wanna dance and hit the floor. Make you throw your hands and drink some more. We tearing up the club until it close. Tonight I really wanna see you lose control.
I thought in this spot tripping out with my girl. Me and my people get broke while we don't like following rules. Swerve, girl. Standing on couches and tying our shoes. Bands laced up, and when they be drumming, you know we gon' do what we do. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. And we gon' keep going until we start seeing the sun come up. And I'ma keep drinking whatever they keep putting up in my cup. And please tell me if I am tripping, but I think I can sit my cup on the top of a butt. We don't ever do a lot of sleeping.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the lower bracket finals. PBN Strike currently leading one game ahead against Tiger WONG Esports with a very interesting plot twist, bringing in the jungle Edith alongside with double mage composition with the roaming Kadida, making wonders, making strides here, trying to take the W and face off their opponents again in the grand finals. Will they make it, or will Tiger WONG Esports rise up to the challenge? This is going to be an interesting one as well. By the way, welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series Mobile Legends Season 1 Open Finals, brought to you by Samsung. Of course, my name is ICB12. Joining with me is Monshell as we take you through the commentaries for the finals so far. Game 1, what a blast. What are your thoughts on Game 2? Predicted. Any predictions here coming in from this match?
They can't get caught off guard like that anymore. I think with PBN Strike, it's like they really strike first. I would say the Tigers, for once, they got hunted, like really hunted by the Edith, by the Kadida. So I think for now, they really have to, like, you know, okay, Game 1 was a bit of a fluke. They have to really reconstruct and really think of how they want to draft against them, because like, I think anything could go for PBN Strike. They just locked in something that could be flexed in any way. I have played Edith jungle like once. It worked out okay, but not to this extent. This was perfect Edith gameplay. It's like, if only I could do that in rank.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe it might be a possibility, but of course, we would like to shout out to our amazing partners as well. We have Snapdragon for providing every setup for you guys. And also, every single game is powered by the core chip processors of Snapdragon itself to give you the most ideal experience for Mobile Legends Bang Bang. This is something that I guess you guys gotta be checking them out, because almost every phone there has got the chip right there. You know, the reason why your games look so good in the games is all thanks to Snapdragon. And of course, look at the screen, look at the setup. It's all pretty dicey. Who else can give you the best esports experience but us right here, baby?
I mean, definitely the best mobile gaming experience. I mean, like, I can't imagine, like, you're in a really intense match, your game's heating up, it's going AWire, and then your team blames you for the defeat. I don't want that sort of situation ever.
Could've, would've, should've, what if. Anything can happen, but most importantly, what has already happened is PBN Strike currently one game away from heading into the grand finals. So at the same time, once again, we'd like to thank our partners again for this amazing setup as well. You see, you know, the Snapdragon Elite Gaming, when winning matters, because without them, we will not be able to have a little bit of a competition. But what I do know is that why I say winning matters for me today, very importantly, is that my predictions and also Montreal's predictions is going to be on Tiger Wong Esports. My prediction was 2-1, hers was 2-0. Her prediction is pretty much blown off the park.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
I'm still in the running, but I'm a little bit worried here for Tiger Wong Esports fans. However, PBN's right. They gotta be, you know, you guys watching at home, you guys are gonna be very happy about this, because one game away from making the grand finals again to have their revenge match against their opponents. However, let's talk a little bit about the stats here. Seems like, okay. Fans think same. You know, you guys are the fans. You know, PBN Strike.
We see you.
The 30%. You guys laughing right now? Wait. It's not over yet until it's over. As the saying goes, it's not over until the fat lady sings. But in this case, I don't know, man.
I mean,
it's such an old quote.
That's
but
why winning matters is like, it's a best of 3 people. So in the end of the day, whoever takes that 2-1 will take it all away.
Oh, 2-1 Tiger Wong. Okay, okay, full game 3. But of course, it's not over yet. PBN in the running. You have to give credit where credit due. Extremely smart as well. Bringing in the Khadi the last minute.
So smart.
Giving us a little bit more of a, I would say, a different approach of the game, right? PBN Strike, ever since yesterday's game, especially when they faced off against GameLab, brought in very interesting strategies. Didn't exactly work out for GameLab, but for them, they actually brought in the Edith jungle, which is something that I think you played in a ranked game as a fun troll pick, but for them to take it seriously and use it in the meta, which was interesting considering that the current meta has shifted in a position where tank junglers has been a priority. Technically, Edith has a decent amount of wave clear, is a tank, does a lot of damage after he's forced, so technically it was viable, and it kind of caught us off guard as well, because I was expecting it to be a Bennett in the jungle, so I think Tiger Wong Esports wasn't expecting that, but at the same time, the Khadita was also brought up as a roaming position, so I guess, you know, the drafts in towards the banning phase is going to be a little bit more different. PBN Strike currently in the lead. Will Tiger Wong be able to adapt? As of yet, first phase ban is going to be up on Tiger Wong Esports. Do they respect the Moskov and the Khadita, letting out S tier picks, or they just, you know, go for a safer ban? This time, they will try to replicate the matchup.
I can imagine, like, in the players' room, they're just messing with each other, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go Edith jungle, let's do it." And they're like, "Sure." And it worked out. I mean, look at the boys, all smiles. And I honestly, this is why I really like give credit when credit's due. I think that PBN Strike has such interesting way of drafting. My only concern was execution, but this time around, they really blew it out of the waters.
Yeah, I guess, you know, even if like if you're a Mobile Legends player, there are like rank players itemization where you can actually copy their builds. There's the pro players in game as well. You can switch here. I'm pretty confident it's extremely hard to find an Edith jungler item, so he might have prepared it beforehand, or he had to just in-game manually buy everything. So that's something that I guess it's we will never know. Maybe if in the interview later on we'll be able to actually see them talk a little bit more, maybe by the end of the day. But what I do know is that PBN Strike currently in the game, in the lead. Tiger Wong just completely ignoring the fact that Moskov is still in the table, but they will respect the Khadita, and which I do agree. Coming in from PBN Strike was that Yuji Chengo was a force. Sorry, not Yuji Chengo. Leone was a forcible recommend, just denying them any space to actually invade from bush because of this Khadita pickup.
So good, so well played from the side of PBN Strike. It's like, what else could they play? What else could they do? Honestly, I'm not surprised. I think they brought out the Natalia pick during yesterday's game. Unfortunately, that didn't work out as well. He just keeps getting caught out, keep getting punished by, I think it was the Paquito EXP, if not mistaken. Yeah, honestly, that was just rough, but I think what Leone can bring so much to the table. So that's why leaving your roam position is ideally for the second phase of the draft.
Well, hopefully it's going to work a second time, because I'm pretty confident GameLab is also watching this matchup, because they are going to be stalking their opponents, either Tiger Wong, either PBN Strike. But what I do know, if you are facing PBN Strike, the Khadita is got to go. And because of this, S-tier picks is going to be slid off as well. We have the Glue, we have the Valentina, we have, what else? Joy? No, Joy is out.
Joy is out. No way.
Fredrin is still available again. Do they want to stick with it for Tiger Wong, or do they just let it through? Nope, they will prioritize the Valentina instead. Okay.
No Edith.
No Edith. All right. Edith for PBN Strike?
Yeah.
No way. Jungle Edith again? Ah,
No. Think of it this way. Edith is so flexible.
Fair enough.
But I think in this case, they pick up the blue instead, so it means like there is a chance that...
Blue Edith, let's go.
Oh, no.
And the funniest thing is about
that's
that,
overkill.
if you go Glue Edith, both the
So
heroes
annoying.
can play in both roles. Roam
Yes.
and XP. So it's going to be a little bit confusing, but I guess, you know, if they decide to go for it, like you said as well, might be a little bit over. But this is 2 power picks, and what I mean by power picks is that there are not a lot of tank oh my goodness. There are not a lot of tank heroes that can one-shot a core as a tank without a lot of items. Like, Glue can literally one-shot any marksman, like level 4, level 6 on its own. Same can be said for Edith. Not many tanks can actually do that.
I think this is just overkill. I kind of hate you right now. The fact that they have Glue and Edith, this is just so deadly from the side PBN Strike. But Tiger Wong, they're going for comfort. They lock in the Midas. This is something that they're pretty comfortable with, and it has enabled them in many team fights. As long as able to keep rocking Decimate, they are having a sure go-to. And Grok has been picked up. So I would say probably going to the hands of Daidi Dudo.
Yeah,
in the source
I
of
guess you
engagement.
can put it that way as well. But Tiger Wong Esports, they have played the Grok on XP before as well, which is something that they can actually flex into the pool. It's a great way to deal with the potential catches, right? Like, if you're talking about invulnerability, and what I mean by invulnerability is like, sorry, immune to CC control, Mortis is great at that, Grok is great at that as well. It can kind of mess up the Edith's combo, so that's going to be a little bit of a plus point. Likewise can be said for the Glue pool as well, but it all comes down to execution. It all comes down to the minor details, whether or not can they pull it off. But PBN Strike, they go for the Melissa. I guess it's... I'm not a big fan of it, but I guess if you put it this way, you know, if the Mortis comes in, the Grok comes in, the go away pretty much just pushes them out of the position. So I guess based on the draft itself, it's good against Tiger Wong Esports right now.
I'm kind of worried for the Grok. The fact that they have Edith and Glue means that he will be so vulnerable to magic damage early on. So if this Grok is forced into the wrong position, he will have a rough time. I hands down. But I think overall, it's just like, how are you going to play around this draft? Well, if all we know, this could be high and dry Grok again.
It could be. That's why it's a little bit more confusing, right? Like, PBN Strike now pretty much has shown themselves that they can play an Edith jungle. And arguably, right now as well, PBN Strike, they can still play it as a XP Glue Roam Edith, maybe even Roam Glue XP Edith, which begs the question for Tiger Wong Esports, what kind of matchups are they going to be able to do so? And I guess the best solution right now is that they picked up heroes that can also flex it up against this composition, right? Grok XP, no problem. Grok Roam, no problem. Mortis XP, not exactly the greatest, but pretty, you know,
it's okay.
Done and dusted for a jungler, right?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not the greatest, I guess.
I would say overall, I would say PBN Strike currently is the most flexible right now with both Edith and Glue. But I'm... Oh no! No, why?
Okay, I think this is manageable. This is much more manageable. I guess Diggy's out is not as strong as before. But if they decide to play... Wait. Could this be a mage Diggy? I don't think so, right? Roaming Diggy for sure, right? Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about PBN Strike. It's like I was just about to say they have a lot of flexible options, but now they're just adding one more hero into the mix that could be flexed into Roam.
It feels like a jack of all trades, master of none situation for PBN Strike right now, and it's kind of risky. To be honest,
it could backfire so easily. Even though like I'm so flexible, you don't know where I'm going, but then it's like you don't know where you're going.
I guess if you put it that way, it's a little bit tough. Tiger Wong Esports, they still have options as well. Valentina can abuse the time journey. It's great and all. I like the Lolita pickup. They pricking the Claude as well. It's got a lot of AoE damage control. It's great against PBN Strike because none of them have enough AoE wombo combo composition. The only thing that can actually protect them is pretty much the time journey. But in terms of someone that can actually clear the Claude right now, there's not a lot if you think about it. Like, if the Glue and Edith misses the combo, that Claude is pretty much free reign, free damage all the way through. Melissa doesn't really necessarily fight well against a Claude. The Blazing Duet just shuts down the way through. But final mage pickup for PBN Strike most likely is going to be the Lunox, but against a Lolita is not that great. I think Lilia is like the
It's alright. It's like you want to play hard and fast, like a lot of poke.
Do
you
they
want to push.
force themselves to play for Ramis Diggy? I think that's the worst situation.
That's-
But they've got double majors, right? But they've got the Glue, they've got the Edith, but I guess Lunox is okay as
It's
well.
okay.
They've got iframes, they've got a little bit of CC control. Very interesting draft coming
Very
from PBN
interesting.
Strike. I like Tiger Wong Esports draft a little bit more. It's more of a clearer picture. But from my personal opinion, PBN Strike has got one of the most flexible drafts to flex their way through.
I can't believe I'm seeing this.
Jack of all trades, master of none kind of composition, but hopefully it works out. I'm curious to see what kind of ideas they bring to the table, and looks like we will get the full picture in this lower bracket finals right now.
The name of the game for Tiger Wong is to bait out the time journey with either the Numenon Blast or Grok. Either one will work, but again, it's like a lot of it lies on Leonie. Like, what are they going to do? I'm just so perplexed by what are they coming up with.
Well, the confusions are here. There's a lot of questions are surrounding the casters table. But what I do know, drafts has been set. PBN Strike bringing something new to the table. Why do you guys stick around? Will they rise up the challenge? Or will we see a tied series? Because as of yet, this is game 2 with Tiger Wong Esports going up against PBN Strike for the lower bracket finals. And currently, Gugun going to be playing on that Martis, going up against a jungle Edith for PBN Strike. And it's interesting, you know, hopefully we do see a little bit more harassments. The Lunox taking a little bit more damage, but Da-Di-Do-Da-Do might actually die to this, and the bomb is actually dead. Oh my goodness, that's
just
gonna be
unfortunate. But
Ooh.
overall, you can see that Rins will be able to trade back. It's a 1v1 trade. Honestly, not very ideal, but hey, at least you get one on the board. I think overall, just too much aggression from the Lunox early on. Even though you have that sustain, it's not very ideal to lose in lane against Rins. Safir having to BMI out of there will be okay for now because the Cloud is such a slippery hero to catch. He just can just BMI out of there. If you're unable to get your CCs on, he's just good as gone.
Exactly, but we did catch a glimpse of the prediction so far as well. 75% win rate for PBN Strike because of this composition. It's interesting. Hopefully it works out, but it is still a 1-1. Like you said, PBN Strike is currently lead. Leonie has no escape. That's pretty much a free kill for Gugun. So that's going to be a little bit of an equalizer there. However, the refrag comes in. Raisho going to be catching on Da-Da-Do-Da-Do. Nothing he can do. He is going to die, but eventually he will go down towards Yujichenko.
Yeah, I mean, like, he already has a reverse time on him. I don't think there's any way he was going to survive that, even though he has his shield up. So this is just really unfortunate. But I think Gugun going for the modest pay is just great against a jungle Edith. He was I guess he was already predicting this to happen. This CC immune ensures that whatever combos you're going to get off will not work for this on this Mardis, and you're just wasted.
Well, it's a little bit tough. However, Yujichenko, he does have the prelims. He's going to pop it, but the Numenon Blast is there. Does he extend it? No, they do not. And Yujichenko is going to completely taunt him. And now they're going to force the issue. Rixley now going to be a point of interest. The Nami a little bit too slow to connect as well with a little bit of protection. The wall is there to isolate the fight, but they just don't have the damage to do so. They've called in everyone, but they are under behind tier 1. PBN Strike, very, very aggressive. However, a little bit of space has been garnered down bottom. Safri will be able to chip away the gold plating. He's making work as well, but the rest of the teams are here to punish him. Do they catch him? No, they do not.
Nah, I don't think so. But overall,
maybe. Safri taking a little bit too much damage. He poses for a Purify. He takes a little bit too much damage. They want to go and force the issue. Freelance comes in from Riz, stolen away, but the time journey is there to keep them alive a little bit more, but they just don't have enough damage to go in for the follow-up. So that's going to be a little bit of refrag coming in, but the Valentina from Riz flickers forward, gets the kill. The counter Numenon plus the buy time, but Rinz, he's going to get picked off. Raisho is there, and they will trade him off. Was it worth it? Absolutely. So much space created for Gugun. And as of yet, Gugun taking the bush. Wants to go in for a fight. Who does he pick off? But seems like Retribution Steel being forced out from Raisho means that, well, not much again.
I don't think that much happened, but early on we could see when everyone was fighting in the mid lane, Ryza was just taking that turtle like just by himself. So with the recently revamped on Edith, like he was able to like just burst down the objectives when in his alt farm. It's just so fast.
Yeah, there's so much pressure down in this gold lane as well. PBN Strike just making sure that Saffron doesn't have the most ideal farm, and Tiger WONG Esports, they realize this as well. They're quick to react. They need to make sure that Saffron doesn't die. However, middle lane, Rins does have the Brilliance available. He takes a little bit of damage, but at the same time, PBN Strike, they are just going to go for objectives. Top side, Rexley just uncontested at all. Nanami has been rotating across the map as well. PBN Strike just taking a little bit more dominant approach this game. And this is actually helpful for them right now.
I think as long as that mid turret remains standing, I think PBN Strike will not be able to brute force their way as easily as they hope. But right now we can see in terms of they're slightly behind them in gold transfer. They have to be able to get the ejecteds, but Leone actually gets caught out. Decimate is readily up.
And Dado also getting caught out as well with the pull out together. But the wall charge comes in, connects on two. They force the Brilliance as well. The Blazing Duet comes in. They won't turn the tide to get two. They're looking for the turn. They finally find Raicho. Ritz, however, taking a little bit too much damage from the sides. But the Mortis from Google taking a little bit too much damage. The time journey respawn coming from PBN just in time. He bought back in time, saves his team, buys enough damage as well. And Nanami is looking to kill off Safri on his own. It is a glue, and he's got the damage. And Safri will also die to this. Mistakes were made. The fight was a little bit too long. Leone saves the day for PBN Strike for this fight.
No, the fact that he was able to get that shutdown on the Lunox was really valuable. As we say, that triple kill going to Lunox was so terrible, but the fact that Safra was able to get that shutdown, I say, like, in the end, he was like 1v the rest of that team. I would say beautiful execution of the wild charge. It was really well played coming from the side of Tiger WONG, but overall PBN Strike was able to answer back.
Yeah, look at this fight as well, because things got a little bit south as well. Yuji Chinko was able to pop up a couple more spells to buy time before paying his price, but at the same time, bottom lane as well was just so awkward because the fight went on for about 20-30 seconds. Leone was able to come back, but guess what? A little bit more into action. Turtle being contested as well. They forced double time journeys coming from both sides, both looking to disengage, but Tiger WONG Esports still has the upper hand. They have the help to fight this as well. But right now, Turtle 20-50%. Tiger WONG looking to bait this out. Seems like it is going to be a reset coming in. But do they want to force the issue? It's two tanks right in the front. Where's the race of the team? They're going for the wall charge. Nanami tries to go for the pullback, but he misses the angle. And Rexy is going to try and isolate Nanami. He's stuck while the back lines completely dived on with the Numenon blast. PBN Strike. They're isolated. They're getting forced out of the fight. And Lu Yuji Chenko with the last minute brilliance survives in the last take. Drops them down low, hoping to set up for Nanami, and it is going to be Nanami that finishes off the side while the rest of the team are hiding under cover of tier 1s, and Tiger WONG Esports just could not go in for the wrap-up. Gugun still looking to survive this, and he's going to be A-okay as Nanami makes the mistakes. He misses the combo, allows Rixley to take him off, and it's bloodbaths after bloodbaths.
I was really questioning why he was going for the split when I don't think there was really a true opening. I think he was trying to scare them off, but Tiger WONG see that as opening to turn things around. And right now they're sitting, like, despite still being a bit of a goal deficit, Gugun finally gets the turtle.
Oh my goodness, this is so awkward from both sides. Like, it feels like they just don't have enough damage to burn through all the wombo combos, but at the same time, they do have the damage. So it's more about kiting and finding the teamfights and isolating it. And you have to give credit to Tiger WONG Esports, especially coming from Rexy. He was able to isolate the glue away from the team, which was one of the biggest factors that Tiger WONG Esports will struggle to because of how strong a glue can actually play against a Claude. And as long as you take away the glue from the Claude is going to be able to cut the back lines, get a couple of free kills here and there, and over time, Saffro is going to scale even harder. And as of yet, look at this. He's got a golden staff, he's got a DHS, he's looking for a potential Winds of Nature, but looks like there is going to be a skirmish.
Overall, we can see that Numenon that's not actually connecting on. Blood Ansai actually will be able to take out the Lolita, but Ryzel is bursting everyone down. Oh my, what is that damage?
Oh my god, Saffrio, he got the Blazing Duet, but at the same time, he just did not have the HP to do so. It is going to be up to Gugun to salvage the fight. PPN, they're dropping bodies for this prize, and it was just so disconnected. Oh my goodness, you hate to see it. It was a wombo combo moment from Tiger WONG Esports, but it was just so split off, and PBN Strike says, as long as we're together, united as one, we will win. And that's exactly what PBN Strike decides to do. As long as they're grouped up, Blood Anzai can do his thing.
This is so rough for Daidit Judo for this game because the problem with the Lunox as well as the Edith combo, they're both max HP scaling damage. Like, I think whatever tank items you could build up will not save you from the amount of burst. What was that? You're just melting people away.
Oh, this is so frustrating. You can see even Rins is forced to play a defensive maneuver to just play Time Journey versus Time Journey to match each other. But eventually, it all comes down to those AoE damage. And as you can see, you see Safri purchasing a little bit more. He's looking for a little bit more later on. But as of yet, the Lord is going to be contested. They are going to try and isolate the fight. Rise Owl is going to take a little bit more damage. He's pops his ultimate. They're all clumped up. They have to reset this. They have to wait out for the Edith ultimate. But the Lord dropping 20%. They're all clumped up. Rex Lee going there for the wall charge! And do they get it? No, they do not. PBN Strike, they won't secure this. They've got the Time Journey. They're getting picked apart. While Tiger Wong, they're desperately trying to keep Rex Lee alive. The Lolita is isolated for the rest of the team. But the backline, Safril is picking them all apart. He's got the damage, but no! The burst from Raisha won't be enough to shut him down alongside with Blood's Anzai. And they wipe the floor with Tiger Wong Esports. They looked like there was hope, but it was all a bait. It was all a setup, and Tiger Wong Esports, they just got completely shut down by PBN Strike. And no, again, they do go for the fight. Rex Lee, he got caught by them, and now PBN Strike gets the wipeout. They won the clean 2-0. The Adi Dudado is here, but what can you do with this Lolita? This inhibitor falls. PBN Strike, do they back out or do they continue? But it seems like it's just not worth it. They will back out.
No, I mean, if they push any further, they're really just testing Tiger Wong's patience because they also have to worry about top side. The Lord is pushing down just like that. Their mid lane is just wide open just from that one team fight alone.
Oh no. Oh no, that's close. Raisho looking for the pick. He goes for the counter engagement, but the Time Journey is there. Gugun needs to make a run. He's taking a little bit too much damage. The counter stolen Time Journey will keep him alive. But Safri is there. He pops a Blazing Duet defensively, but instead he will leave Rex Lee out to hang, and PBN Strike will get another one to pick off as well. The Nami looking to go for another stake. They lose Yuji Chenko, but it does have the immortality. They finally take the inhibitor, but the damage coming in from Safri is back online. Gets the reset. The Lord is there. They're getting picked one by one. They lose 3, they lose 4, and they are going to lose the Lord a little bit more. A defense coming in from Tiger Wong Esports will say it's not over yet, but the damage has been done by PBN Strike.
This game is definitely not over, but as you say, the damage has been done towards most of their structures. The fact that there's only one inhibitor left standing. What is this damage coming out from PBN Strike?
Oh my goodness, Safril is in a very, very awkward position right now. He cannot use his Blazing Duet just like that. He needs to find the right moment, and PBN Strike knows this as well. And once that Blazing Duet gets baited out, all sorts of damage from Tiger Wong Esports is going to be completely negated. And as of yet, you can see, Gugun looking to go in for the punish. Nanami getting poked up a little bit more. He's got the split. Safril in an awkward position. He is going to force to back out. Conceal. And fortunately for them, the Conceal is going to keep them alive. They're trying to build stack for Safril, but PBN Strike says it's just not worth it. We've got all the time in the world. The lanes are in their favor. And all they got to do is just be extremely patient with this next move. And all is well. But with 15 seconds for this next Lord, it's just not worth forcing a fight right now.
Right, and right now they're sitting really comfortably on the 6k gold lead. And, well, just look at how much almost all the turrets is basically all gone. They could take this Lord so easily. Everything right now in terms of objectives, in terms of economy, is favoring them so heavily. And what can you do? Because Rex Lee, unfortunately, is so squishy.
Uh-oh, Rins playing a little bit poking here. Raisho not going to be fighting yet as well, but the wall block comes in. He gets pulled back. They're trying to isolate Rex Lee for the rest of the fight. They do pick off the glue on the sides for Tiger Wong Esports, and Rex Lee actually survives it. The defensive Time Journey comes in, keeps them alive, and they are going to be A-okay. The brilliance from Yuji Chenko gets baited out. PBN Strike is going to get caught out as well, but the damage from the sides! Where is that coming from? PBN Strike, they're taking a little bit too much. Safri pops the Blazing Duet, bases him out. They could not catch him, and they get the counter wipeout instead. What is that damage from Rins and Tiger Wong Esports? They get the counter wipeout, and now they will get the lore. And it is going to be a back and forth coming from both sides.
Rins on this Valentina. The fact that overall Valentina has a 50% win rate, it's a flip of a coin toss, they're able to turn this whole thing around. Even though they have one inhibitor standing, Guggen finally is able to show off his stuff and gets the Lord.
Oh, this is a defense, one of the difficult one as well. But in case you guys missed out on action, let's take a look at the highlights as well. They were debating on which XP to play off, but in this final moments where they needed to go for a defensive measure, and the moment they clumped in, you can see that Rins was able to get a 3-man first kill and popping twice, just dropping down so low and just picking them off bit by bit and just allowing them to just completely win that fight. So well done for production for the instant replay, but it was Tiger winning the spot. You have to give credit to Rins. This Valentina is at a stage where it does hurt.
Yeah, I mean, like, overall, you can see the overall KDA, 858 on this Valentina. This is why Rins is so deadly. You would think that they pick up the Valentina for her utility, but the damage coming out from this hero should not be underestimated. This is why it was so highly ranked in pro play.
Yeah, it's so annoying as well. He just got his Genius one prior to the fight, and I think PBN Strike just wasn't expecting that. But now, with the Lord pushing in, Tiger WONG Esports, they're trying to go for the setup. They've got the wall blocks in, but it seems like it's just so difficult, and both sides is pretty much into a later stage of the game. It's just not worth risking it. And fortunately for Tiger WONG Esports, they get a little bit of lane dominance, but the inhibitors still stand for PBN Strike.
I mean, you can just see how quickly this Lunox as well as Edith is able to clear the Lord. Like as I mentioned, the benefits on max HP damage scaling. So it's really ideal. And right now, it's like, honestly, Rex, the fact that he was able to survive all of that earlier on, I was really worried he's going to get caught out because, as you see, this is damaged Grok. Fortunately, he finally builds up Athena shield so he can survive the damage coming out from all the magic damage from PBN Strike, because I think that's called for. I think you're kind of greedy, man, but I think it's really necessary considering they have to match the DPS of this team.
Exactly, but seems like there is going to be a skirmish coming in. Google going to be the full grunt as well. He does have the Radiant Armor, which is the only Radiant Armor coming from Tiger WONG Esports, so he needs to be able to proc that to negate all the damage coming from PBN Strike. And I think PBN Strike, all they gotta do is just play it passive. They need to find the final item up on Yujichenko, and currently I think he's going for the glowing wand, maybe even a genius one for his final item pickup. And once that comes in, Tiger WONG Esports is gonna take a lot more damage in this department. But as soon as I say it, Gugun, he upgrades his curse helmet, so his job is done. His job is just to tank in the front lines, but the rest of the teams need to find an opportunity to get those wombo combos off, and it is something that PBN Strike is very afraid of as of yet.
I mean, that's the value of a tank jungler in a way, because like not only has immune CC, it's like the fact that he's able to jump right in, check brushes, because unfortunately this Lolita is like, despite all the itemization, a bit too squishy, and the fact that we see all these immortalities being built up, it's going to be so much more difficult for PBN Strike to pick off the members of Tiger WONG Esports.
Yeah, if you put it that way, it's extremely difficult as well. They've got 2 immortalities from PBN Strike, likewise coming from Tiger WONG Esports, so they are trying to mirror it the best as they can, and I guess it is going to be okay as well. Tiger WONG Esports is going to be engaging the first Lord. They're trying to pay this out. But PBN Strike, are they in position to fight this? Leone going to be looking for the big flank here to try and regroup his rest of the teams. But wow, the backlines as well. Yujichenko looking for the big brilliance, but it's going to be difficult as well because Tiger WONG Esports, they're all grouped up. But pay attention to the minimap. They're very isolated from the fight. And Yujichenko from the backlines, he's looking for Safra. He finally starts to fight, but he gets scouted out. And now Tiger WONG Esports says, catch that Lunox. He's all by himself. He baits on it out with the team with the brilliance as well. They are all clumped up, but they do have the time journey to disengage. But Raisho finally joins him from the back lines. They finish off Rexley, and they are gonna pick them up bit by bit. The Numenor Blast comes in and finally catches on 2, but do they have the damage to do so?
Rins!
Because Safri is still alive. They pick him up on the sides, but as you can see, Rins beats in on an awkward position, but the blazing duet comes in, secures the kill for a double. Safri almost losing his life. He gets the triple, almost losing that fight against Blood Anzai, but Tiger WONG Esports somehow survives this, but the minions focusing on the base as well. Raisho is there to trash it as well. He's got the retribution. Do they kill him or do they focus on the Lord? They do kill him, but eventually the minions will be defended. But do they have the health? He's dropping so low. He gets the retribution. He gets the Lord, and Tiger WONG Esports still survives the fight to live to tell. But can they close out the game?
I think it was really good that Gugun built that Guardian helmet to survive, because I think he could have been taken out by the Lord if he didn't. And the fact that thankfully they do have Lord enhanced minions, that's why they're able to at least sustain this incoming wave with most of their base inhibitors down. Because what a fight that was from Tiger Wong.
Oh my goodness, that was a really disgusting fight as well. But somehow, as long as Safril survives, he's going to be all good. But in this case, it all comes down to 50-50s. Leonie going for a divine glaive up on this Diggy. It's going to be putting a little bit of a question mark. However, he does have the damage to try and threaten this from the side of Tiger Wong Esports. So one wrong move, that is going to be a one shot as well. Gugun can take the bomb. He's okay. It's fine. But with the minions shoving in, they need to tally up properly, and with the Lord knocking down the bottom, Safril is a little bit too far off. Bloods Anzai is going to try and threaten this. The inhibitor falls for now. PB in the strike. They are grouped up as 5. They have the damage for Blood Anzai, but Blood Anzai taking a little bit too much from the Lord. He needs to play it safe, but he does have the Haas Claw, so it's good for now. Gugun going for the bait for now, but I don't think they are going to try and force the fight for now.
Yeah, I think rather PBN Strike will be the one to force the fight, because I think they still have some room to play with. And Tiger Wong, you can see so disciplined. They're going for objectives. They're not engaging in.
The wall comes in. They bait out the Melissa out of position. Bloods Anzai does have the damage, but Tiger Wong says it's just not worth it. They've got base defense. Everyone is full slaughter as well, and they still have immortalities. It's just absolutely not worth it to force this fight. Raisho for the pick off, but at the same time, Tiger Wong just says we have to wait for the next Lord.
Here's the issue with PBN Strike's draft is that they do not have consistent forms of CC. While Tiger Wong, it's like as long as Rins is able to keep stealing this time journey, this double time journey, they'll be able to win out in terms of overall team fight, because that's what they're strong for in terms of overall team fight.
Well, conceal play comes in. Tiger Wong, they want to go in for the catch. Raisho zones them out. Great catch as well. Melissa drops the puppet in. But eventually, Tiger Wong says it's not worth it, and it all comes down to Dadidudadu's shields, whether or not do they block the damage of Bloods Anzai, and it's working out in Tiger Wong's esports' favor. But they cannot afford to make mistakes now. They have to drop all their spells properly, and at the same time, they need a pick-off in order to close out this game. But speaking of pick-off, Raisho, he will start the fight. They do get the catch on in, but they will be able to disengage. They still have the time journey away to open Rins. They're waiting for the right moment, but the wall completely stops PBN and Strike from advancing.
I mean, overall, more consistent CC from the side of Tiger Wong. And in terms of late game, we're hitting 20 minutes in. They have the better late game damage with the Claude especially.
Oh, once again, pay attention to Minimap as well. The Lord setup fights are there. Yuji Chenko on that Lunox looking for the flag once again. He's going to try and clear the minions down bottom before regrouping with his team. But as soon as I say that, Raisho will try and engage the fight. The Lord Storm comes in, connects on Bloods Anzai, but they still have the HP to sustain the way through. The rest of the team from Tiger Wong Esports is not here that, but they are going to try and prolong the fight. Flicker has been expended from Nanami. Rexy goes for the wall charge! Connects on 3! It's a disaster! And now BBS, right? They have to back out. They force the buy. The Numenor Blast comes in. Leonie goes for a time journey, keeps them alive, but the damage has been done. They pick up the Nami. Gugun trying to stall for the team, but the Blazing to win comes in from the side. Tiger Wong, they wipe the floor with them, and BBN Strike, they lose members. Yuji Chenko, last man standing, absolutely nothing he can do. And now Tiger Wong Esports, they can close up the game. 40 seconds left on the sidelines for BBN Strike, and Tiger Wong says we are gonna tie the series, and it is gonna happen. They're focusing on the crystal. Yuji Chenko, does he focus on the minions? No, he cannot. The wall charge comes in, stops him in the play, and we get a full game 3 for the lower bracket finals.
GG, well played to both teams, but congratulations to Tiger Wong Esports for a 1-for-1 draw. Wow.
What a game coming in from Tiger Wong Esports and PBN Strike. Whew, what a lower bracket finals. I totally anticipated and predicted this, and you guess what a way to have the final day of the open finals, because in case you missed out game number 2, here are some highlights for you guys for both the Tiger Wong Esports and PBN Strike, because initially things were going so well for PBN Strike, right? They had the momentum, they had the wombo combo. It all came down to this one big crucial fight for Tiger Wong Esports, where it kind of allowed Rins to completely scare off the backlines of PBN Strike and just forced them to retreat, and because of that, it gave them a little bit of hope for Tiger Wong Esports to come back into this fight.
Overall, I would say that Tiger Wong Esports, they play towards their winning conditions. They're so much stronger in terms of team fights and how they layer their ultimates. They have so much to play with. Honestly, Rex, even though he got taken out so many times during earlier stage of the game, but that wild charge, that beautiful wild charge during those last few moments, enabling the team. But honestly, I was really worried right here, where they're all taken oh so low, and only the fact that Gugun was able to sustain with the Guardian helmet, and the fact that the minions' waves were actually quite sync up. The minions are not the minions.
Yeah, imagine the Diggy passive, you know,
Oh
was
my
able to steal that. That was
God.
crazy. Because if you think about it here, the
Yeah.
Diggy is just so annoying. Leone is doing his job right as well. They could have popped the regen, etc. But because of the Diggy egg there, it just stops you from taking damage. But eventually it came down to final moments. PBN Strike made a little bit too much mistake. They overextended a little bit too much. Great catch coming from Rixley to start off this fight, because the damage coming from the Grog is starting to show as well. Because if you think about it, Grog's AoE scales with damage as well, and eventually they found an opportunity, they made the comeback, they paired up with the Blazing Duet, which was pretty much the key winning factor for Tiger Wong Esports' composition. And even this damage as well, Rexley, Blade of Eptasis, Malefic Roll, armor reduction all the way through, hit three members all the way through, allowed Safrail to dish him out damage. I was expecting a little bit more damage item coming from Safrail, but it seems like sustainability is the way to go. Athena Shield and
Absolutely.
Brute Force Breastplate on top, replacing the shoes. Okay, it worked
Yeah,
out
he
for
saw the
Safrail.
shoes. I mean, like at some point he had immortality, then he was picked off, then he slowly like, just I'm going out for all damage. This is late game, this is my time to shine. But Rins, so many times he really turned this around. He was able to find these openings and flank and get that beautiful triple kill as we've seen. And Rex, I mean, this was to be expected. He's gonna get bursted down. So much magic damage coming from PBN Strike, but he really pulled through with those beautiful wild charge. And Daddy Dudo, you can see, like, even though he was constantly stunned, knocked up, anti-CC'd, he was able to get those Numenon blasts out. Overall, with just like, look at the damage coming out from Rins.
My goodness, 124,000 in the state end of the game as well. UG Checo's got 94k, Blood Sanzai's got 96k, and I was expecting a little bit more damage coming from Blood Sanzai, but it's understandable, right? If you think about it, Daddy Dudo, every single time they drop a clutch out fight, they want to play close and personal, but as soon as the puppet drops in, you can see Daddy Dudo instantly pops a bulwark and all the damage instantly gets negated. So seeing how game 2 went, I'm really, really glad how the game went. It should have been, you know. Keeps my prediction live, of course, you know, prediction. You know, gotta have to be a little bit shameless prediction so far. 100% prediction thus far on screen. Don't want to curse it, don't want to jinx it yet. But I really liked how they actually adapted as well. Game 1 was a complete flop coming from Tiger Wong Esports. Game 2 showed a little bit more strengths. Everyone just poured their heart and soul. It came down to drafts, but eventually I don't think it was the draft issue. It was just straight up execution. Just one small mistake, and anything can happen. And hopefully game 3, you know, PB9 Strike will be able to bounce back, because that was a very long and tiring game.
I mean, like, we're really out of breath, and I hope you are too, because my heart is right in my chest, but we're going to throw into a very short break. But don't worry, we'll be right at with more Mobile Legends Bang Bang action.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
I feel eyes all over me, watching how I set the scene. Oh baby, step into the rhythm for a minute, let your body shimmer, turn it up and feel the heat. Let your body talk, baby, feel the bass. I like the way you walk,
You already know what time it is, right? It's your boy Eclipse Darkness. I do this for my people. How I like that. I'm a black, strong man, they can't tell me nothing. What I represent, they try to keep it from me. I done turn a lot of nothing into something. And I'm still out here pushing all they buttons. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. So I'ma stand up. They can't hold me down, yeah, for nothing. I'ma stand up, yeah, for something. Cause they can't hold me down. I done seen it all. Came up from the gutter, baby, now I'm here to ball. I've been talking in my ear, so now they wanna call. They got my line tap, oh yeah, they tryna take it off. Oh no, here we go again. Pull me over, let me guess, it's cause my melanin. Asking questions, me and you both know irrelevant. But I stay cool and collected cause I'm heaven sent.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Snapdragon Pro Series MLBB. Oh, I mean, just like powered by Samsung Galaxy. We're still kind of out of breath, but as you can see, it's a 1-for-1. Tiger Wong bites back against PBN Strike.
I will never get out of breath if it's a good game like that. But all in all, it's not over yet. We're down towards the game deciding moment. One of this team will be eliminated for upper brackets here. We'll be walking away with the third place prize. But one of this team will proceed to play the next following series where they will be facing off in the grand finals against GAMELAB. Once again, welcome back to the Caster's Desk. My name is ICBaby12, and our special guest for today, Monchel, is going to be joining us with you guys as well to witness the last day for the Open Finals. And so far, it has not disappointed us at all.
Nah, man, I'm just your co-caster and also official fangirl of all this Mobile Legends action, because like, whew, that was so much fun to watch, so much fun to cast, and I hope everyone back at home, whether whichever channel or platform you're watching us from, you're enjoying the series with us.
Yeah, and to be honest, you know, what a way to start the finals as well, because Indonesia versus Indonesia, it's all about the pride, you know, as hashtag Indo Pride, baby. But at the same time, you know, one of these teams is going to be facing off against the Philippines later on. But before that, I would like to thank our amazing sponsors here. We have Samsung Galaxy. They provide you one of the best mobile phones out in the industry does yet, with the Galaxy S23 Ultra, where you can share the epic moments and level up your Mobile Legends Bang Bang gameplay. And thus far, what a way to actually start the game, because today's games has been really, really exciting. It comes down to this one final game. This final game will decide who plays at GameLab. And the question remains is, do they have the fatigue to continue? Do they have the stamina to play through after that exhaustingly long game for game number 2 though?
In the end, it really came down to a best of one. But I would say, like, considering that, okay, Tiger Wong has the advantage of playing in the MDL Open qualifiers, in which global ban. Like, imagine, like, every time you play one game, all the heroes that you pick cannot be played in the next round. So it allows them to be extremely flexible. They still prefer playing the overall front to back kind of composition, and that's their strengths. They're continuing to do so, but they definitely make certain amount of adjustments and definitely counter what the PBN Strike was trying to do. So overall, just well played from them. But overall, PBN Strike, I really enjoyed this team. Like, this is the second time they brought up Edith Jungle, and it could have worked. It's just that they had a timer on their hits, and they just weren't able to end the game in time.
Exactly, but nevertheless, 20 seconds left before they decide the drafts here. Tiger Wong Esports, they struggled for game 1 with the Kadita pickup for PBN Strike, adapted game number 2, went neck and neck against PBN Strike, and now this final moments here, it's all up to PBN Strike whether or not do they go full tilt or do they bounce back to fight against the hungry Tigers looking for the championship title for now. But without further ado, we're going to be jumping straight into the draft here for game number 3. As you can see up on screen as well, we've got the MVP backboard on the sides and one of the players itself. And this is interesting because there's just a lot of pride here for the Indonesian teams thus far. And PBN Strike will choose to play on the blue side. And 1-1, first pick so far, both games, first pick has won them the games. Third game, however, PBN Strike, they will respect the Martis, instantly taken out of the equation.
Overall, it's like they're so cracked. Gugun, his Martis is so
annoying.
Like, I would say amazing, and like the fact that, as you mentioned, he gets that radiant armor. PBN Strike couldn't do anything against this pick.
Yeah, the
It
thing
was-
about the composition for PBN Strike was that they had so much magical damage. And as soon as Gukun got the Radiant Armor, which was, I think it was his 5th item progression, things started to look a little bit better against for Tiger Wong Esports. They needed somebody to actually mitigate their damage, reduce their damage to some degree. Like, that's what the reason why back in the days we talk about Dominance Eyes, we talk about Dreadnought Armors, yada yada yada. But the meta has kind of shifted based on the item message itself, especially for tanks in general. And if you play a mage team oriented, we are not looking at Dreadnoughts, we're not looking at Dominance, we're looking more on towards Radiant Armor, a team of Shield, maybe an occasional Oracle, which is, I think, very situational. I guess for heroes like Estes is great and all, Glue is decent, not the best, but in terms of the draft, respect has been made. PBN, they go for a little bit standard. They will ban off the Martyrs. Tiger Wong will stick with the Kadita. They know for a fact game 1, they could have had a good chance if and only if Leone did not make life miserable against them. The double Petrify was something that
Absolutely.
the Fredrin just could not do anything at all. So we're down to this stage where Fredrin might be first picked, but will PBN Strike says, I don't care. Valentina is going to be the way to go, and it seems like that's going to be the case. Tiger Wong, do they take the risk? Fredrin or no Fredrin?
No!
No! Okay!
No, absolutely wrong. Negative. They're picking up the Edith for chance. Wow.
This is funny, considering that if this is near identical drafts from game number 1,
It's just
PBN
flipped.
Strike took Moskov first pick instead of second pick. This time they pick off the Valentina, denying it away from Rins, which makes a lot of sense
Yes.
considering game number 2. Rins' Valentina was a force to be reckoned with. Tiger Wong Esports, they will respect this. PBN Strike, you've got an annoying Moskov player. We're going to take it away from you. You love playing your jungle Edith. You know what? I'm not going to let you play that. This time, we'll show you how to play Edith. In this case, is it going to be a jungle Edith?
No.
Or is it going to be XP coming from Tiger Wong Esports?
Okay, considering how Tiger Wong likes to play, I think it's gonna be the normal EXP lane or potentially roam Edith in certain like based on what you're drafting for. It's really flexible. And PBN Strike stealing a lot of these picks away from game 2. The Lolita, the Valentina.
Oh my god, you gotta love these two teams, right? Like this game 3, you can see so much adaptations coming in from the drafts itself. It's like a game of chess, who goes first, what picks first, and straight up, it's just comfort picks and denial picks coming from both sides. Tiger Wong, they deny PBN Strikes with Moskov as well as Edith. PBN Strike, they deny the Lolita, knowing for a fact that it was one of the biggest reasons why the Melissa didn't exactly pop off. So it feels like PBN Strike still wants to play around the Melissa composition, but Tiger Wong, they will not hesitate this time to pick off the Fredrin. It's a comfort coming from them, but at least they still have a Petrify of better data. Not exactly sure, is this a jungle one or an XP one coming from PBN Strike?
I think it's like flexible either way, and I have seen like once that there is a potential for Moskov jungle. And honestly, like just based on this entire
please,
series,
please,
series
no,
alone,
no,
it's like you jinxed it earlier for
no,
game 2. It's
no,
like
no.
I'm just calling all shots because like Tiger Wong might be taking a page out of PBN Strike. But okay, maybe this is more fun for them. But
No, I don't want to see a jungle Moskov. Like, I've seen enough in ranked games to know that it's not really that great, but if it actually happens and Tiger Wong wins it, well,
We're gonna
my
see
life is
that.
complete. Anything is possible. You know,
Complete.
nothing is impossible anymore.
complete in what sense? Completely tattered?
I would be completely whole as a new human being and finally getting to witness any hero can play in any role and finally believe that there's no such thing as role restrictions for any role. You can play 5 marksmen and still come on top in this game. Yeah, that's why I strongly believe now. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at the same time, Lydia being banned off, Melissa and Brody, 2 power picks coming in from Tiger Wong Esports. They have the Beatrix for PBN Strike. Might be looking to lean on the Beatrix once again. Something that I think Tiger Wong Esports isn't that worried about. But in terms of mage as well, I'm curious to see what Rins has to play. Because as of yet, I think Farsa isn't too bad. But
Farsa's
PBN Strike,
open.
they
Farsa's
don't
open.
really mind the Farsa. Because Valentina can benefit with Feather X Strike. Hopefully Tiger Wong Esports decides to build Radiant Armor early, considering that they don't really know what kind of junglers they have yet. Ling is also in the pool, which is something that we haven't really talked too much about as well. We did see it played by GameLab yesterday, so I'm surprised the Ling is completely ignored. PBN Strike, they've got a little bit more of a split push game or third playstyle.
Wow.
But okay, they bring in the Kufra. Not exactly sure, but so far 90% win rate for the Kufra, and the carry being picked up for PBN Strike. So I think the Kufra isn't too bad to deal with it.
You know, I was asking you earlier on because I was watching like from home all the recent matches. Is that why was carry not being picked up at all? It's like you told me there was like slight adjustments, you know, nerfs. Like Moskov is such a better pick, and holy moly.
Okay,
Holy moly.
I've seen this before. PBN Strike was one of the few teams actually brought in the double marksman composition, and they definitely lost the early stage game, but if they dragged the game long enough, they were able to make a comeback. And this is a very risky composition for PBN Strike. Hopefully it's going to work out, but as of yet, double marksman coming from PBN Strike, likewise coming from Tiger Wong Esports as well. If you think about it, technically, on paper, on note, Edith is kind of a tank slash marksman, but at the same time, final pick from Tiger Wong Esports is going to be Rin's hero. What is a good hero? Lunox, it's okay. Geef, definitely pretty good as well. It's been nerfed as well in terms of slow advantage, but once the Ice Queen one comes in, it's extremely annoying for PBN Strike. However, the question remains is that, do they have what it takes to shut down this Roger? Because there's only so much a Kufra can do.
I mean, overall, we can see there's so much bulk on the side of Tiger Wong Esports. The Fredrin, the Edith, and the Kufra. I guess they have so much form of setup, but overall, I'm not sure if Gugun, I assume Gugun will be playing this Fredrin jungle. During the first game, he got countered pretty darn hard, but I think as of now, their composition definitely towards early game does win out against PBN Strike. PBN Strike, I don't know. What do you think about their composition?
Well, if this is a little bit risky for PBN Strike, but if they decide to have Nanami play the Benedetta, I'll say damage Benedetta, it's gonna go south real quick as well, because they need some sort of front line to actually soak the damage. If it's a tank Benedetta, it's good and all, but anything had been said and done, it all comes down to execution. It all comes down to who plays their matchup as their favor. But as we had clear win conditions coming from both sides, Tiger Wong can play it slow and steady. Play it safe, it's good, but PBN Strike is they have to drag it out as late as they can to clutch it out. Who's gonna come up on top in this lower bracket finals? Ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 3, the final game to decide who advances the grand final. This is PBN Strike going up against Tiger Wong Esports, both representing from Indonesia. This is gonna be some stats for you guys, and as of yet, it seems like Gugun with a 60% kill participation on the Fredrin.
And a 66.7 win rate on this Fredrin play. I mean, we're negating that earlier game which he lost, so he could actually have the higher win rate. But I think overall their win conditions are really clear. They're really setting up overall for this Moscow pick. It's really like their main source of damage towards late game actually is going for Sephiroth. So in return, Tiger Wong has a timer on their hits. They cannot allow PBN Strike to reach the late game.
What's really interesting is that I was expecting Rins to go for a tough boots, but he opted to go for a Warrior boots, knowing for a fact that Raijal and Bloods Anzai is in the game. So maybe not giving a little bit more kills into his Raijal is going to help slow down the progression. But I don't know. It feels a little bit questionable for me, but I guess, you know, if you put it that way, it could work out as well. Leone is gonna get caught out. Here comes a taunt coming in, and they want to try and force him down as well. Raijal is there to provide a little bit of assistance, but a bouncing ball is gonna keep them in check. Gugun will finally finish off Leone. Absolutely nothing he can do to get out of that sticky situation.
I mean, no matter how many shields like this Lolita can generate in your 3v1 situation, in the first few minutes of the game, you're pretty much caught out. God.
Yeah, there's nothing really much he can do as well, especially when PBN Strike has such a late game composition. They cannot afford to get this aggressive, especially with the Lolita on top of it all as well.
Look at how fast!
Oh my goodness, the Lord just the turtle just completely drops right now, and the prediction coming from Tiger Wong Esports is 67% win rate thus far. And I can tell you for a fact that this prediction doesn't matter, because that's what happened in game number 2. PBN Strike is 70%. Boom! The 30% wins, and now I don't want to curse it, but my prediction's on the line for Tiger Wong as well. But PBN, Nanami, going for a wave cut as well. Gugun goes for the taunt. They do catch him as well. Here comes the combo CC. Nanami doesn't have the Y for a Y, but he finally pops him off the last tick. But eventually, Gugun will finish him off. Numenobra comes in to assist, but it's not going to connect. Gugun is there, but the stolen real manipulation from Yuji Chenko is going to keep him in place. The counter real manipulation comes in, but it's too late. He's all by himself. Rins, he needs to back off. And however, Raijal taking a little bit too much damage. Dada Dido is there, but instantly gets blocked from Leone. Rexney finally joins the fight, but they finally finish him off with the Edith. And this is the power of Edith we're talking about. They finally take the jungler, but Nanami still alive, finally back from the dead. Trades off Rexney, and this is huge for PBN Strike.
really bloody and like so messy coming out from both these teams. They're really not holding back in terms of these fights. And I have to agree right now, as someone who plays a lot of Edith before the recent buff, she is busted. Absolutely dumb cut right now.
I know, right? But at the same time, Edith, coming from Rexy, not going for the Molten Ale since he's opting to go for an early dominance ice, I guess. But you know, it can be situational, right? There's steel legs here. It's just value over value. Doesn't necessarily need to progress all the way through. But at the same time, I guess going for an early Dreadnought armor isn't too bad as well. But I don't know. It feels very questionable right now on what Rexy is looking to go. Bottom side, Dadu is going to be playing a little bit more aggressive. But as of yet, Safrio is going to be the key winning moment for Tiger Wong Esports once again. He's got an early crucial scythe. It's huge for them, but there's a lot of pressure down Golding right now from PBN Strike.
I mean, like, in the 1v1 situation, Moskov beats Carry, right? In this, that's why a lot of pressure Leone is putting on Daddy Dududo. So it's a battle between these two roamers on how they set up. Real manipulation has been popped to ensure that they're able to secure this turtle. But Nanami actually going right in, and Raizo steals the turtle.
Oh my goodness, Gugun paying the price as well. The counter real manipulation comes in, and now Rins is forced to back out. They just don't have the damage, and PBN's trying to get another kill down middle. The Numina Blast catches onto a Safrio as well, giving the kill onto his Bloods Anzai, and this is huge for PBN Strike. The dream start for them as well, with a double marksman compensation, a full gold plating for Blood Raichu on the top. Tiger Wong Esports losing so much economy with that blunder of a turtle fight.
Like, considering everything, Tiger Wong should have the better early game, and the fact that PBN Strike is in the lead with 3,000 gold. This is not looking too hot for Tiger Wong.
Yeah, Leone gonna be zoning off Dadu on this Kufra. Safrio finally joins the fight, but they lose the tier 1 down bottom. Dadu is here, goes for the Tiger's Revenge. He misses his way, and the real manipulation comes in. Safrio gets connected with the Numenon Blast from Leone. The counter real manipulation is there, but where's the damage? They just don't have. Raichu still has the turtle buff. They wipe the floor with him, and now Gugun is here to say, hello, Wolfman. But guess what? I just don't have the damage. He's got the combo! The Appraiser's Wrath will be enough to finish him off. The rest of the team thought he will survive, but it was not enough, and he will pay the price. But as of yet, PBN Strike still a little bit more comfortable compared to game number 2 and 1.
I bet the team kind of wished they were closer to Raizo to assist him. But I guess they were really worried that the Praiser's Wrath could proc and hit them as well. You can see that. But overall, Daidudo missing that skill completely. And the fact that they lose their goal lane in the process while Safrio, unfortunately for Rins, you can see this Roger pickup is so much damage. But unfortunately, Gugun is able to salvage it a little. But right now, with 4K lead by PBN Strike.
You know, imagine if Gugun had a flicker in that situation and just pre-positions and Praiser Wrath. That would have been potentially a quad kill, possibly triple kill there potentially. But nevertheless, what if, should if, could if, it all comes down to the match right now. And PBN, they've got turtle control. Tiger Wong Esports can't afford to fight this as well. They're 4K economy behind. Rexley, he tries to engage. He goes for the catch, but Blood's Anzai won't disengage from the fight. They're going for the pick off, but the retribution will be stolen from Tiger Wong Esports. But the real manipulation comes in, catches in the play. They're going for the petrify play, and it's all a blood brawl right now. And PBN Strike is picking them apart. Gugun does have the Appraiser's Wrath, turns the tide, catches Blood's Anzai, and they will force the retreat. PBN doesn't want to give up control right now. Raichu looking for the jump, and seems like Gugun says, I don't care, I'm just gonna poke your way through. And Nanami getting slowed down. He's got the combos to work through, but can he get the stun? Nanami going for the fight. They finally take him down, but guess what? From behind, Yuji, Chenko, and Raichu, they want more. But Dadu from behind, Tiger's Revenge catches onto, saves the day, turns the tide, sacrifices life. They get a double. The Numenon Blast comes in, kills off Rins, but he's all alone. What can you do? They have the damage, they've got the sustain, they pick them apart. It's 4 down for PBN Strike, and Blood's Anzai is the only one left. But does he survive? The stun comes in, it doesn't, but Safrio will gladly take the tier 1 and back out. Bloods is there, but do they continue? But the tier 1 actually survives as well.
I'm speechless. Like Daddy Doodle, honestly, like I would say he really made a redemption for himself. Earlier, he really missed his shot and really almost costed his team that big moment here. But you can see here how quickly the tides were shifted towards favoring Tiger Wong Esports. Like the beautiful layering of their ultimates and skills. Oh, this is why Gugun has such a high win rate with this Frederick. It's so powerful.
Yeah, it's so risky as well. Like, things could have went south so quickly if Daddy Doodle did not force a fight. But while that's happening on the live commentary as well, we do see a fight breaking down the bottom left of the screen. PB and the Strike actually getting a kill on towards a carry, and they do trade off 50 to 50s, and it is going to be a 2-for-1 trade-off favoring Tiger Wong Esports.
I mean, trading your roam from roam is always ideal. But right now, Tiger Wong, I think they're really shifting into gear, and they're really trying to claw their way back into their economy. And overall, this was the lead that they're looking for. And PBN Strike, even though they do have the better late game with double marksman, they still have to be really cautious.
Yeah, they do have the Radiant Armor purchase up on Leone as well, so Rexley is going to lose a lot of the damage output. Likewise, can be safe for Rinse as well. But the Lord being threatened right now, Gugun is in position. Leone from the backlines goes for a concealed play. He's looking for a Nomenon Blast, but unfortunately, the Tyrant's Revenge is still available. Dadadudu misses the angle. He's going to get caught off, and he's going to die to this. Terrify is there. He flickers out. Raisho looking to finish away, but he is out. He's going to be okay, but the rest of the teammates are going to take the full brunt of PB and right, and they have to go for a reset. But the Nomenon Blast catches the backline, but the real manipulation still stands. He is going to look for the counter engagement, but Gugun, he will try to trade 1-for-1, but the damage has been done, and PB and Strike will finally win a little bit more for the fight, and they finally pick off Rinse on top of it.
Oh, the double kill going for the Roger. And right now, you would see that these teams really know how to play Valentina. Whichever team has this Valentina really are able to shock their opponents by the amount of DPS coming out from it. Really looking really comfortable. 6-9 will be able to get this Lord for free for going hands off PBN Strike.
Oh, it's going to be a tough one indeed. Raisho getting the endless battle. Haven't seen that item for a very long time, but for Roger, the true damage is going to pierce through the armors of all the heroes coming from Tiger Wong Esports. But in this case, they cannot afford to miss the stuns again from this Kufra. And that's going to be a punishable one coming from him if PBN Strike gets another opportunity like this. But speaking of which, Tyrant's Rage comes in. They do get the connection on the Valentina. Instantly flickers out, but they have to disengage because from the side, Leone is here to catch and punish Rexley. And Tiger Wong, they have to back out. The Lord's crushing on the top side, and PBN Strike does not want to give away control. They go for the real elimination to stop them in this track, but do they get the trade? They don't. That is going to be Blood's Anzai picking them off apart. Safril is here, but they do back out. They do not get trades coming in for this fight.
Ooh. The fact that it was onto Leone and then Gugun was unable to get enough damage off because this is a Lolita no matter what. But overall, we can see both teams are able to engage and Tiger Wong is able to clear out that first Lord pretty easily.
Oh my goodness. So once again, another close match, but PBN Strike still has the economy lead to do so. And this time, the roles kind of reversed from game number 2, right? If you think about it, the Lolita just stopping Sapphire in all damage output. But before that, let's take a look at the items real quick on how the progression does so far. Nanami opting to go for Brute Force Breastfit as well as Bloodless Axe. So they are going full offense coming from PBN Strike with only the Lolita building full tankiness. And whereas Tiger Wong, they're still balancing it out, but eventually needs a little bit more time to do so. Da-dee-do-da-do, starting to fight with the Tyrant's Revenge. They do catch one. Do they finish off Nanami? And yes, they do. So that's going to be a great pickoff. However, bottom lane, we have the carry threatening the tier 3s. Blood's Anzai is there, but Gugun, can he stop him? Yes, they can. They get the taunt. The Purify comes in. The real revolution, is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. Just right at the final tick, and Tiger Wong Esports will find the opportunity to try and snap back. The minions are shoving the top side. PPN is right. They have to back off. And Tiger Wong, do they continue? No, they do not. They will salvage whatever they can. The purple buff will be the objective for Tiger Wong Esports.
Tiger Wong really pulling Uno.
Okay. Raisho, gotta be a little bit careful, but at the same time, Rexley looking for the flicker. He gets the stun, but they need to back out. The bouncing ball is there, but they lose the tier 2. Lini, fortunately, does have a save. The numeral comes in. He catches on 3, but do they have the follower? It's a little bit too late. PBS right, they backed out, and Tiger Wong now looking for the engage, but the Tyrant's Rage catches on 2, and BBN Strike, they lose Raicho, they lose Yuji Chenko, now they're gonna lose Leone. Double kill for Rins, and Tiger Wong Esports finds the comeback of their lifetime. Now, inhibitors exposed, PBN Strike losing a little bit more. Electro final blow to clear the minions, but Blood Sunshine on the side getting KCC. They don't have the damage. The crystal getting taken down. Tiger Wong Esports reverse comeback 2-1 against PBN Strike. Ladies and gentlemen, Tiger Wong Esports is your second grand finalist.
Lower bracket meta is real, ladies and gentlemen. GG, well played to Tiger Wong Esports, but PBN Strike, what a fight, man, what a fight.
What a fight indeed. PBN Strike just made one small mistake, and it's all it takes. But as of now, Tiger Wong Esports, whew, I would say it was a little bit of a crazy match so far, but let's take a look at the highlights on how Game 3 went as well. It started out really well for PBN Strike, considering that it was a little bit weird that they have this double marksman and they're able to find so many opportunities to come on this fight. But eventually, this was a moment where Dada was able to buy time for Tiger Wong Esports to actually come back into the game.
Really like beautiful positioning and setup. They're really able to turn the tides because like Daddy Doodle really is like the fact you really have to be able to like get these amazing plays off, and the fact that they got a 3-man Numenum lads, they dared to fall because there was not enough damage. Only 2 members being unable to protect their crystal. The Moskov just basically was just free hitting. Like just look at him go, just free hitting the crystal. That's the danger of having a marksman like Moskov near your crystal.
Yeah, it's so hard as well, but nevertheless, take a look at the items as well. Yuji Chenko, he did his best as of Valentina. MVP coming from PBN Strike makes a very sense as well. He's stolen Real World Nation, has been able to set up multiple teams for PBN Strike, especially it started off from the first turtle fight, second turtle fight, and even the third one as well. But it all came down towards the final moments, right? It all came down to who makes the first mistake. And Tiger Wing Esports, they have this Kufra where it's a hit or miss. You hit, it's going to be a big wombo combo. If you miss, he is going to get picked up bit by bit. And that was something that PBN Strike has been banging on in the fact. And over time, it all comes down to whether or not they can buy enough time. Raicho, Bloodzonzai, they have reached a stage where they're starting to hit a little bit too much. But I did talk about the drafts as well. They needed a secondary tank. The first tank was Leone, but they needed Nanami to scale into that situation to actually be able to trade 50-50s with Tiger Wong Esports.
Yeah, no, Nanami actually went really greedy in terms of the itemization, so Nanami is unable to survive and get off those engagements, petrify in to really set up for PBN Strike. And I want to say Blood's Ansai, I was really questioning his decision to split push by himself because like they really got Uno reverse and they got their inhibitor turret pushed in instead.
Yeah, that was that one mistake as well. Like, it was a little bit greedy. Tiger Wong was a little bit aware in terms of their map awareness. They were able to punish it as well. You have to give credit to both Gugun and Rins for that kill, because without that kill on Blood Danzai, they would not have been able to scale back into this game. So props towards Tiger Wong Esports in their tip-top performance. However, despite all this game, we got to figure out who the MVP is, and the MVP for this match is going to be none other than Rins, the mage from Tiger Wong Esports on this entire series.
Overall, like, what else can you see? Rins is really a person you can reckon with. KDA 4 KP participation of 83.7%, extremely high, GPM 642, and damage per minute 3,765.
Oh my goodness. Like, you know, Brent has been clutching here really quickly as well. And it makes sense why Product gave it to MVP, because Game 2 would not have been won by Tiger Wong Esports without Rins on that Valentina. And even this game here in Eve as well, that pick off, like I said, the final tick of the kill off the carry to buy time twice in a row, undeniable MVP to clutch it out for the team. So far, even yesterday's game for Tiger Wong Esports has been phenomenal thus far. And I'm glad my prediction still stands. And I'm sorry to all PBN Strike. That will be the end of the journey for this series. However, if you guys are fans of PBN Strike, you can still see them again for the Challenge Finals, where they will be facing off the best of the best, a brand new bracket. This is only the Open Finals, and we're down towards the final 2 teams.
I mean, like, you really took the words out of my mouth, Terrence, because, like, overall, yes, you'll be able to see PBN Strike once again in the Challenger Series, where the 16 teams will be like facing head-to-head in double elimination.
Yeah, and the question here is, like, Tiger Wong Esports all the way in the bottom. Now at the top, started from the bottom and now they are here in the grand finals, puts a very, very big question mark. Who the heck in the qualifiers kicked them down there, and now they're here and they're here to party. At the same time, the challenge finals is going to be a very, very interesting one as well, because I want to see how that happens when it happens. But before that, I would like to shout out to our amazing partners as well for Monster Energy, for unleashing the beast, the inner beast that I was able to provide you guys with all this commentary. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and the game so far has been phenomenal today in the lower bracket finals.
I mean, that's the reason why you're so pumped for all of these action, because you just had your monster drink earlier on the site. Is that done? Do you have another can for me?
Nope.
Aw, man.
Sucks to be you. You gotta steal it all. It's my stolen Monster Energy.
Alright. I'll just have to go to the fridge myself after this. But our upcoming match, considering how Tiger Wong won that best of 3 series, they'll be up against GameLab from the Philippines.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one as well, because representing from the Indonesia is going to be Tiger Wong Esports, and in the grand finals against GameLab is going to be the site to be watching here, because I'm looking forward to see who comes up on top in this open finals. But without further ado, we're going to be taking a short break, and we'll be right back with the grand finals for you guys for the Snapdragon Pro Series, brought to you by ESL. My name is ICP12. She is Monchel. We'll see you guys after this.
The Snapdragon Pro Series, powered by Samsung Galaxy, is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Lace up my shoes, time to get it. Put in the work, I'm with it. Paying my dues with sweat and tears. There is no weakness here. I ain't new to this, I'm a veteran. Wear my battle scars like a letterman's. I done crawled through the mud full speed, so I wouldn't underestimate me. That's a rookie move. Homeboy, I got nothing to prove. Team player, but I'm still self-made. I'm in it for the passion, not the parade. I don't need the lights or the cameras, just me and my opponent. All the work that I put in has led up to this moment. Let's go. You go hard, I go harder. You beat, I beat farther. You cannot match my speed, 'cause I'm out of your league. I'm out of your league. I'm out of your league. Everybody wanna get like me, better reach for the stars, 'cause I'm out of your league. Game time, let's go. I hit that mark weeks ago. I'm about to laugh you up. Tell me, have you had enough? You would think I had a PhD in psychology. The way I get in your head, there is no escape. Like I said, I'm out of your league. I play fair, but show no mercy. Only give my time if it's worthy, 'cause I keep my mind on a mission. And you don't fit the vision. I ain't cocky, okay, a little bit. I call it confident, but they can handle it. Don't blame me, it's just my time. So move, 'cause you're blocking my shine. I'm out of your league. You better go with plan B. You taking the crown? That's a fantasy. You can't step to me. I'm out of your league. Better beef up that defense. I give you an A for effort. Now hit the bench. You go hard, I go harder. You beat, I beat farther. You cannot match my speed, 'cause I'm out of your league. I'm out of your league. I'm out of your league. Everybody wanna get like me, better reach for the stars, 'cause I'm out of your league. You go hard, I go harder. You beat, I beat farther. You cannot match my speed, 'cause I'm out of your league. I'm out of your league. I'm out of your league. Everybody wanna get like me, better reach for the stars, 'cause I'm out of your league.
Put it on me, put it on me, put it on, dump it on me, dump it on me, dump it on me, put it on me, put it on, dump it on me, dump it on me, dump it on me, put it on me, put it on me, put it on, dump it on me, dump it on me, dump it on me, put it on me, put it on, dump it on me, dump it on me.
The moment of truth is finally here. The pinnacle top of the Open Finals. The Grand Finals is here. It is going to be GameLabs going up against Tiger WONG Esports. Welcome back to the stream. My name is ICBaby12. Our special guest here today is going to be Monchel, our co-caster and also caster for your games thus far. I hope you guys have been enjoying the games thus far, but today's match, the final best of 3, the best of the best from the Open Final, who is it gonna be? Is it gonna be GameLabs or is it gonna be Tiger WONG Esports? Seems like in the meta trend here, Monchel has been shifting accordingly in terms of adaptations of hero pools. There's drafts, there's mortars, there's Edith, but to be bringing up Edith as a priority pickup. You're a big fan. What do you expect the Grand Finals is going to be coming in too?
Nah, man. I mean, even before Edith was meta, I just picked her up because like she was just such a hero that really takes people off guard. But before I can go and like start fangirling about Edith, let's look at the overall brackets as of now.
Yep, and so far in the brackets, GameLab started their journey from the Grand Finals. In case you're wondering who they started with, they started with ALVA 8 and then defeating 2-0 against Evo Esports and also 2-0 in PBN Strike. They have had an undefeated run thus far from the upper brackets and currently residing in the Grand Finals. However, Tiger WONG Esports is a completely different story. They started all the way in the bottom, 2-0 their way and 2-1 Evo Esports, and finally closing up their lower bracket finals with a 2-1. It has been a long and terrific and tiring journey for Tiger WONG Esports. The true dark horse of the entire tournament, finally in the Grand Finals. Can they make it all the way? For the first time, they are going to be facing off against each other. No clue on how each other's play style is. Will they be able to succeed is going to be the question, because this Grand Finals, GameLab seem to be the most unstoppable team. Why? You guys love him. You guys know him. Without further ado, let's introduce the teams.
I mean, this is going to be the lineup from GameLab. We have ESPORT, we have Taganaga, Aizawa, Yukt, TZ, and Dokman. Honestly, whenever I see someone with a TZ, they have so much to live up to. But after, like, at home, I was watching that Harif goal lane. Man, he really lives up to that name. He really makes the TZ like family proud.
Yeah, Dokman as well has been one of the, I would say, the starters of the trend for the Kufra pickup. And the reason why the Kufra has had a significant amount of 80% win rate thus far is courtesy because of Dokman. A little bit of credit coming in from Tiger WONG just now, but their opponents all the way from the lower brackets, you know them, you love them, you've seen them up on screen as well. It is going to be Tiger WONG Esports. We have Rexley, Gugun Seishiro, Rinz, Safril, and Dadi Do going to be in this roster itself. You've seen them in the Open journey as well. They came back. They lost game 1 against PBN Strike. Bounced back and they reversed 2-0 sweep against them, taking the series. And now here they are again up on screen. Can they go it all the way? Because we have never heard of a story of a team from the lower brackets coming into the Grand Finals and winning the Open Finals. And this is something I'm looking forward to see.
I mean, overall, we can see that can they continue to keep this lower bracket meta alive? Because let's look towards the players head-to-head. We have the junglers from both sides of GameLab as well as Tiger WONG Esports. We can see overall Gugun have a really impressive KDA, considering for most of the time he does play a lot of Fredrin jungle. 7.9 KDA and a kill participation of 58.3%.
Well, after so many games here, it seems like Google does have a little bit more in terms of stats just because of the amount of games that Tiger WONG Esports, and for him to be able to build out such a high report of stats is kind of crazy, right? If you were talking about inflated stats, I don't think Google has an inflated stats because technically Tiger WONG Esports has played more games compared to GameLab. Whereas for GameLab, if you think about it, let's talk about the potential of their stats, right? Almost all of the games coming from GameLab has been so one-sided to the point that is so unfathomable to actually gauge their stats because of how quickly the games end. And Takenaga, being a jungler, doesn't necessarily do a lot. He is the core jungler for the team. But if you think about how GameLab has played around the composition, it all comes down to their gold laner, their mid laner, who kind of snowballs their way through. And this is something that I think none of us actually pay attention to GameLab much because their games close up so quickly to a point. It's so hard to study their playstyle. And I genuinely feel bad for Tiger Wong Esports because if GameLab has done their homework, there's so much data on stream to watch all of their matches. And even just now in the Grand Finals, it was a clear indicator that they cannot deal with a roaming Kadita.
Yeah, I mean, like overall, we can see, like at least from what I saw from GameLab, it's like they really work with clockwork. Their rotations are perfect. The way they play is so meticulous. But overall, our friends at the Twitch chat, do cast your votes, and who do you think will be our winners for this Open Finals?
Well, start voting now. So far, my predictions, feeling a little bit comfortable right now. It was a little bit shaky for me in the previous one, but Tiger Wong, my boys, made it all the way to 2-1, coming out on top. But this time, it's going to be a little different. Abandoned ship so far, as the Malay saying as well. Lalang is going to be the way to go. I'm going to go for a 2-0 for GameLab, just because of how dominant they are on the stats and the record. But I really want to change my... I made this prediction before the show. I want to change it, but the damage has been done. It's too late. After seeing Tiger Wong climb back, pulling it through for me from PBN Strike, my heart is wavering. I feel like I'm having a little bit of a disloyalty as right now, but I gotta stick with what I gotta do, you know? I made a decision. GameLab's gonna be taking 2-0, but I don't know. You guys can fight us in the stream as well, in the chat. Let us know who do you guys think is gonna come up on top with the series. And who knows, we might be featuring your votes and later in the near future. Maybe in the next one in the Challenge Finals. And the more you guys talk, the more you guys predict, and the more you guys communicate with us, we give you guys the best esports experience possible for you guys on the street. I hope you guys enjoy yourself though.
I mean, overall, I'm basing this off like the PH viewers. They were like really chanting and supporting GameLab like throughout like the entire tournament. I was thinking like, how strong is this team? And when I was witnessing the gameplay last time, I'm just like, damn.
They're so strong that
Damn.
their game closed out so quickly that it's so hard to find weakness. Because the thing about GameLab, I think I had this short discussion with Karakuri, I had this short discussion with Ikoto, Husky as well. We all agree that GameLab is so strong to a point that every single one of the players wins individually on their lanes. And when they win so strong that you don't necessarily progress into a team fight, which is weird, right? But I feel like hopefully Tiger Wong Esports is going to be able to put up a decent fight. They have had a strong showing from the lower brackets, and after just now this game, hopefully fatigue doesn't cave in. Because technically, for Tiger Wong Esports, if they want to win, they have to 2-0 GameLab. But if they drag this out to game number 3, if, and I only say if, production's going to be happy, he's going to hit his KPI. But at the same time, this is actually more advantageous for GameLab, considering that Tiger Wong has played more games, stamina, they're all well rested, they've got more data to work with. And that's the advantage of being in the upper bracket finals.
I mean, I think fatigue will definitely kick in. And as I was saying, why PBN Strike had like the slight advantage against Tiger Wong during the earlier match was that they were kind of becoming very predictable. It's like it's very evident they enjoy playing a front-to-back composition. They have very clear win conditions. But you're saying that like GameLab has individually strong heroes and players that as long as they win in lane in every like fraction and they are able to choke their opponent out of the farm and objectives, this is how they close out all the games so quickly.
Yeah, and even the game against PBN Strike, and it was so clean as well to a point that it's kind of scary how far apart they are. But it is also a debatable subject, considering that PBN Strike, they didn't drop Marksman 2 games in a row, might be a drop issue, yada yada. But, you know, it all comes down to official matches because eventually this is only the Open Finals. All the teams that's pretty much eliminated now thus far on the brackets are still, as the top 8 is still in the running for the Challenge Finals, because we have not seen the top dogs of every qualifiers, the #1 teams of every qualifiers in the Challenge Finals. So, I don't know. Hopefully they will have a little bit more data to study as well, and this is going to be the top 2 and 3 teams for the respective qualifiers for the Open Finals. And now here in the Grand Finals, GameLab versus Tiger Wong Esports is going to showcase you guys how the meta should be looking like. We have a little bit of taste now, 2 weeks in a row so far, and we have finally come to this pinnacle moment, the best of the best in this current brackets. We do see a lot of Edith, we do see a lot of Moskov. Martyrs still very, very relevant. But let's take a look at priority as well. GameLab or Tiger Wong Esports, because you brought up a very good point. GameLabs, they do like to play around as a solo play style. But what I do realize is that roamers that shine the most, if you think about it, teams like Blacklist rely so heavily on Oh My Venus just carrying out the team, right? GameLab, they have Darkman, and so far yesterday's game, Darkman has a little bit of a resemblance on how Chuck Mamba from Smart Omega who
Ooh.
play on his Kufra. So I'm really
Ooh.
looking forward
Oh,
whether or
I'm
not
getting
can he
chills.
bring it up to the table, because right now on screen it's gonna be the drafts. GameLab will take blue side instead of and Tiger Wong will take red side.
Like, I mean, like, just that one statement from you, Terrence, was enough to give me chills of what is to come as we jump into the draft versus these two teams. Overall, I would say that even though Tiger Wong, it's like, yes, we know their playstyle, but perhaps they do have a few more secrets up their sleeves. I would believe they have a really diverse hero pool, because like the fact that they were able to snatch the Moskov and the Edith, when I was thinking like, nah, there's no way they're gonna do that, but they did that. They did the coin flip.
Yeah, it's kind of weird as well, right? Because PPN Strike, they did first pick the Moscow for themselves for the first game, and it actually worked out in their favor. But that's pretty much in a different game now. GameLab, they will try to mirror this time. They will ban off the Khadida. They also ban off Franco, which is interesting. Even though Tiger Wong Esports has played it just now, didn't exactly work out in their favor, but it somehow won them the game. No, they actually didn't win it.
They
actually
lost that one.
game
They
one,
lost that
so
one, yeah.
it's a little bit weird, but I like how Tiger Wong Esports is respecting Dongmen's heroes as well. His Kufra was extremely annoying. Every single time he's brought a Kufra, they won. And they will respect ban this. However, S tier picks is going to be up for grabs. Fanny in the making. Mortis in the making. Fredrin also up for grabs. Valentina up for grabs as well.
Have we seen Guggen play the Fanny yet?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
A little bit annoying because the Kufra was banned off, means Tiger Wong Esports can look to play this as well. But at the same time, GameLab has brought in the Paquito. We have seen a buffed Paquito in the recent patch. Not many teams has kind of adapted to it yet. 2 seasons back, it's all about Paquito jungle versus Fanny. Fanny comes in, boom, 2 KO punch, your Fanny is going to drop like a fly. Very possibility as well. I think GameLab realizes that if they decide to go for the Fanny right now, they still have options to deal with it.
Man, I don't know, like, imagine how Valence is feeling right now about this Moskov being picked up. Like, because back then everyone think it's like such a tree strat. Back then it's like, everyone was just like laughing at him and calling him out. But it's so meta right now, and Tiger Wong responding, they're enjoying this Edith pick. It has won them a game.
Okay.
And they're going to lock in Rince's comfort pick. You say his Valentina is crack? You haven't seen his full potential on the Farsa pickup.
Oh, we shall see. But GameLab, they will respond with the Valentina as well as the Fanny. So pretty strong opening so far. Edith still pretty okay in dealing Fanny. You can still catch him mid-air to a certain degree. But at the same time, Tiger Wong Esports, do they want to try and double down and just shutting down Fanny? Because eventually they need something to stop him down. We've seen teams kind of play an Archive jungle just to make sure that the heavy speed kind of pins him into the wall.
Nah.
Not necessarily great against a Moskov. So Fredrin is going to be the way to go for Tiger Wong Esports. They're sticking to something they didn't know. Meta-ish, I guess. Glue completely ignored, which is kind of interesting as well this day. Glue completely ignored by both sides.
I think overall,
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, like, ban out, it's like,
Okay.
I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I would say Edith and Fedrin are really good answers for Fanny. It's like, I have seen like some really weird like interactions whenever Edith like earth shatters a Fanny and she just goes like flying in a really weird direction.
True. Seen that happen before, but they still need solutions for both the Moskov as well as the Fanny. If you think about it, both very, very high mobility heroes. Fredrin doesn't necessarily be able to dive the back lines. Can be a very, very big problem for them. But as of yet, Tiger Wong Esports, they ban off the Grok. Interesting enough, because Grok could be a good pickup for themselves to try and wall charge their way in towards the Fanny. But seeing how the Brody Melissa being banned off, Tiger Wong Esports, they still have the Melissa. It's not the greatest, but it's okay as well. Clint is still in the picture. Beatrix is great for wombo combo, but doesn't necessarily give him the tools to escape a Fanny. I guess that's one way, but at the same time, I think 2 seasons back, there are teams that play a Leslie, kind of using it as a way similar to Brody to deal with the Fanny, right? If the Fanny comes in, boom, knockout, concussion, back out.
Oh,
And,
I haven't seen the Leslie in a while. It's been
a while, but
it's been a while.
not super strong in the later stage game, you know. But at the same time, Tiger Wong, they bring in Ruby. It is a
It's so
way
flex.
to deal with Fanny. I guess it's still decent flex, I guess.
No, I just feel like their draft right now is just like they're just countering the Fanny. Ruby is a great answer. Edith as well, being able to knock him and flip into the loving arms of the Feather Airstrike.
I think the biggest problem right now is that how do they deal with the Moscow? Because that's something that they are going to be having a little bit of difficulties to work with. The Paquito being picked up from GameLab is huge as well because that is going to give them a little more mobility. And with the Cho and the Paquito, this Farsa is not going to have a good time as well because once upon a time, Cho is a great way to deal with the Farsa. Cho is also a great way that deals with the Fanny. So these are all counter-denying picks from the side of GameLab, just preventing Tiger Wong Esports on dealing with it. Because now with the final marksman pickup, there's not really a lot of marksmen that survive Fanny onslaught. And in this case, going for Beatrix is not too bad, but going for Mia is terrible. Going for Irritel isn't too bad. It's bad still. Clint, I guess, is the best out of the worst option, I guess.
It's alright. It's alright. I mean, like...
Going for Claude, I guess, is the worst case scenario again if they decide to go for it. But what do they pick? Yep, they go for the Clint. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
It's a comfort pick for the side of Saffrio. So obvious, and also a lot of AoE, a lot of damage thrown out. So I think it's really great. But for GameLab, I am wondering about their composition a little. Like, how strong are them towards the team fight? Because look at Tiger Wong. There's so many ways of engaging. There's so many wombo combos they could go for just to funnel it all into the Feather Airstrike.
You know, in terms of Tiger Wong Esports, right, in terms of teamfight potential, they're really, really strong at just destroying the backlines of GameLab, right? And GameLab's game plan is pretty much making sure that Takenaga kind of snowball with his Fanny. As long as this Fanny is able to snowball, GameLab is going to have a very, very decent time to his middle stage game. But if the Fanny doesn't snowball, things can get a little bit different because Tiger Wong Esports has the tools to kind of push them back. So it all comes down to those early aggressions. And so far, GameLab has had a good track record at just winning the early games. Hopefully, they will be able to maintain it because, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be jumping straight in the game. Will Tiger Wong Esports come back or will GameLab shut them down? I don't know. Stick around to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the game number 1 for the grand finals of GameLab going up against Tiger Wong Esports with the Philippines going up against the Indonesians.
And overall, let's look once again for Taganaga as well as Google in terms of overall player stats. I mean, you can see, like, that's quite odd. Alice jungle?
Oh yeah, they did.
Oh.
And they won.
Wow.
Not once, twice.
Oh,
which is
boy.
weird. Yeah, I've never seen it happen, but it kind of worked out in their favor. It's weird, but at the same time, the stolen
Did he
purple
stole
buff?
it? Wait, did he stole
Did
it?
he steal it?
It was red though. No,
No,
yeah, he got it, yeah.
You're padding a little bit, here. Her boss is here to say hello. Takenaga finally shows himself. Gugun is going to get shipped apart. That's going to be first blood for GameLab. And this is exactly what they're begging for. But
wow!
Okay, prediction.
Okay.
Isn't this a little bit biased, production? Hello, come on. Guys, you guys in the chat, prediction all GameLab. What?
We have potentially a lot of Filipinos in the Twitch chat, potentially. But as well as on Facebook as well. Oh, but I do know it's going to get picked off, but this Ruby will be able to survive. But oh, the Fanny actually going in will get stunned off. He has to back away. But right now we are seeing a clash of playstyles between GameLab and Tiger Wong Esports. GameLab definitely wants to be able to go for those pickoffs. Tiger Wong are stronger when they're grouped up.
Yeah, Tiger Wong just needs to buy a little bit more time. They cannot afford to just throw their bodies as well. But on the bottom side, we do see a little bit of trades here and there, but Google not having the great start. And we've seen this happen coming from Google before because, right, he's just a meat shoe. Eventually, he doesn't need the biggest level. He just needs to do his job. And eventually, in the middle, later stage of the game, it all comes down to his teammates buying time. But as of yet, Turtle could be up for contest. GameLab already in position to do so. Tiger Wong just says it's just not worth it. We're talking about Fanny, and even then, the weakness about Fanny is that he needs purple buff to fight. But Tiger Wong cannot afford to jeopardize and trade this fight. Dadi Dududu is there. He gets the I'm offended. The first Feather Strike comes in. They catch out Aizawa, and that's gonna be first fight in their favor. But from behind, Takanaga will finish him off and trade 1-for-1. He doesn't have the cables, but Google will start to make work on the turtle. Meanwhile, they do get a pick up on the side with GameLab, having Yuktizi getting the kill on towards Safril, which gives them a little bit more space. Dogman finally shows him fair. The turtle won't concede. Takenaga tries to do a little bit more damage, but he doesn't have the cables to do so. Tiger Wong will take advantage of this fight. They go in for the push. They trade him out. They kill off Takenaga. That's huge for them. Dogman needs to run for his life, but it is going to be Gugun as well as Dadi Dudu that comes up on top. They go in for the trade with the orange buff from Havos, denying it away from Gugun. But nevertheless, Tiger Wong, they bite back, and this time they will get back the lead.
I mean, like, damage was done definitely from the engagement. Obviously, Daddy Do usually, but the Feather Airstrike actually landing. And just like that, Aizawa is just deleted off the map.
Oh my goodness, Tiger Wong Esports not giving out yet, not showing any sign of a retreat yet. And now Fanny shows himself, but he gets caught out and chased on. He's dead, he's gone, mistakes were made. Tiger Wong Esports knows how to punish this. This Fanny is out of the equation, no more snowball. And GameLab's now in a lot of trouble. They're trading off plates after plates, but Tiger Wong Esports is happy that this Fanny is no longer relevant unless said otherwise.
I mean, this is the anti-Fanny composition. If only they have a Brody, then they'll be, full circle. But basically, right now, Tiger Wong, as I mentioned, they do so well when they are grouped out. But right now, they are trying to contest that purple buff, but he'll be able to secure it, this Fanny.
Well, Fanny's here. They're all clumped up, but they do have the taunts and utility to do so. Takenaga starting to lose out a lot of this damage that he's required to do to snowball. But guess what? They find the Farsa once again. This time he's looking for Saffrio, but Saffrio still somehow survives. A little bit green from UTZ. He's going to get chain CC, and he gets picked off instead. And Tiger Wings was able to get a trap, but Dogman gets a nice flicker kick coming in, but he's not going to be able to follow up his through. Takenaga gets the reset, but he can't seem to get a finish. He's desperately trying to find the angles, but the stuns coming from Gugun and the taunts will keep him in the place, denying him that opportunity. And Tiger Wong Esports is back into this game now.
Oh, that was so unfortunate. They were so low. It's like, you can see he was just zipping around trying to find a potential target, but no matter where he turned and where he looked, he just couldn't get it.
Oh my goodness. Turtle comes in. Not going to be stolen from Dogman. Tiger Wong will back out for now. Dominance Eyes up and Dadi Do means this Fanny is going to lose out a little bit more in terms of sustainabilities. And as of yet, Tiger Wong, they're finally grouping up, but let's look at the items real quick.
I mean, overall, honestly, for Daddy Do, as you mentioned before, like, I'm really surprised that a lot of these kills are going towards their roamer. But obviously, with only just one Domina being built up, it's just trying to be able to punish this Fanny and also potentially this preventing the amount of lifesteal this Paquito could generate.
Yeah, it's going to be tough indeed. Tiger Wong, they're playing a little bit safe as well. They're focusing on making sure that Saffru gets his farm that he needs on the top side, because so far UTZ has been able to find kills after kills against Saffru. So making sure he gets his goal is going to be the way to go. Gugun, however, going to be a little bit annoying. Her boss getting harassed with this Paquito. He needs to get out. The pull comes in, but he misses the combo. The KO punch is there, but the counter engagement comes in. He is going to be able to back out. Meanwhile, Dogman going to try and secure the purple buff. They secure it for Takenaga, but he needs to back out. He doesn't have the energy. Haizawa does have the I'm offended, but GameLabs has to concede tier 1 right now. They just don't have the tools to challenge Tiger Wong right now.
Tiger Wong actually putting up a really strong fight, despite we're saying about how GameLab is individually strong. Their heroes individually strong, but Daddy Do actually will be able to sustain and get out of that. Whew.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult indeed. Takenaga missing the first cable. That's going to be energy wasted as well. He's trying to buy time, make space. He's aiming for Rins once again. And Gugun making sure that Rins doesn't get punished off all the way through. Meanwhile, GameLab on the bottom side, they will shift their focus. They get Saffrio instead, but the way of the dragon, getting countered with the counter flicker from Saffrio is going to put Dogman in an awkward position. I'm offended comes in from UTZ. But a little bit of an unexpected interaction there, but Tiger Wong, not expecting that, but good try coming from Dogman. Good try indeed.
The fact that he kicked him back to his own turret, so like, he definitely will be safe under there.
Dadi taking a little bit too much damage there, getting chain CC. That's gonna be his downfall as well. The Feather Airstrike is there, but GameLab finally switching up their approach, playing a little bit safe, shifting their risk onto his UTZ now, whereas Fanny is going to be trying to isolate them, forcing them apart, and it seems like it's somehow working apart. Meanwhile, at Force, looking for a couple of fights, this Paquito is going to be chain CC. There's no way he survives this, right? But he does have the mobility. He's okay. Purple buff getting challenged as well. Here comes the kick. Gugun going to be in an off angle. They can't seem to go for the wall spam. Here it comes as well. The spear comes in, but Gugun still has the abrasive round, but could not chain CC his way through. But in the sides as well, Saffro is here to say hello. He picks them apart. They take her force down. And GameLab has no choice but to concede the turtle again.
Aizawa really has a tough job because like initially he was trying to go for the Feather Airstrike, but keeps getting caught out, and he did try to get I am offended, but we're not seeing any plays coming out from him, but it's just so difficult. because right now Tiger Wong is able to really suss him out no matter what in all these team fights. So it's so difficult for him to get any form of engagement. But
Oh my god,
TZ,
TZ. He's just so annoying. He's taking objectives across the map. Naga still baiting out a couple of reactions. There's only 2 men down. They're testing it out, but these are heroes that can stop this Fanny. And it seems like GameLab just doesn't want to risk it anymore. They know that Tiger Wong has the tools to do so. And the shift in focus from Tiger Wong Esports right now is they need to make sure that they need to group up and win a fight. But if GameLab doesn't choose a fight, they need to make sure that Rins comes up on top. As long as Rins doesn't die, there's a lot of potential for Tiger Wong Esports to come out of the game, because eventually, Safril is not going to outscale Yuktz at all. He's got the tools, but he can be easily taken out compared to Yuktz, who's just so annoying. And it's so hard to fight this, but Yuktz is going to start his fight, but no, the counter stun miss coming from Rins, so Yuktz is going to be able to survive that. So fortunately for them, GameLab might have just lost that fight if he landed a shot.
I mean, considering everything, I just had a brief glance of the items. Yuktz is actually farming up pretty well. And the fact that I think what GameLab has to do is that split push. You have a Fanny, you have a Moskov. I think that is what you need to do, especially if you're slightly behind. Because no matter what...
Oh, the kick comes in, but on the bottom side as well, Safril gets punished from Yuktz. He's got the Heart's Claw. He's going to try and stun his way through, but he will lose his life 1-for-1 trade. But at the same time, the damage has been done. Middle lane, they kill off Rexley. A 4v3 situation, and bottom side, they're not going to get Rins alive, and he's going to get focused at Boss. Going to be going for him as well. Rins will force the flicker, but Dadi finally forces the flicker, but can he survive? Absolutely not. GameLab slice and dice and sniped them out bit one by one.
I think no matter what, even if they're slightly behind, it's like Takanaga, this Fanny, this is why this Fanny pick is so deadly. As long as he's able to get his items, he'll be able to dish out the damage no matter how you keep picking him off. As long as he's able to get those kills on the board, he will still be a menace to deal with.
Tiger Wong now finally grouping up. They go in for the first taunt onto her boss. They finally pin him out. Do they follow up? But guess what? Safril nowhere to be found. They get isolated. Safril was focusing on the orange buff, and they will lose a member. Gugun drops the appraisal buff. The damage is good. Drops him down half HP. But Safril, does he get the kill? But yes, they do. The Lord will help him out a little bit more and take care of her boss. Dogman now getting kited around, but Aizawa turns the tide, pulls back Rins. Do they have the damage? Yes, they do. Yuktz with the spear coming in, but doesn't want to follow through. Takenaga is there, the tier 1 still standing, but guess what? Objective is the way to go. No retribution contest, and that's going to be a free lord for GameLab.
I mean, like that spear going through, really, that was just 40% HP went like out the window, just like that. This Moskov is so farm, and the fact that he has just completed Wind of Nature, he is going to be an unstoppable force.
Oh, GameLabs finding opportunities after opportunities. When they least expect it, they strike, and somehow they've got so much spidey senses
so
here.
clean.
And in this case, Dogman has been a very, very on point here. And look at this, he's set up for the backlines as well. He's looking to go in for the catch on Safril. And so far, Xbox going for the fight. Takenaga going to be the first one to actually bait things out. He's going to disengage. But Dogman showing his presence on the back lines. He's just taunting Tiger Wong Esports, and they're so afraid of this show. The spear comes in, but Dogman says, I'm just here for the show. And so far, Tiger Wong is just panicking, and they are respecting this and backing out. The Lord going to be pushed down bottom. Safril will focus his attention to clear off the bottom side. Meanwhile, GameLabs will take away the buffs away from Tiger Wong.
That's just classic Cho gameplay. It's like you have to have that certain amount of finesse and confidence, I want to say almost arrogance, to play it around. Feather S right, flicker forward!
He could flicker forward, try to get Yuktz, could not do so, but Dogman will be the sacrificial lamb instead. So that's going to be the first mistake coming in from GameLab, and Tiger Wong is able to punish their separation so far, and Havas dropping a little bit too low. Does have to sustain, so it's all well. But let's take a look at the items real quick on how things are progressing thus far. Dreadnought armor on Fredrin. We've got the Molten Essence, Radiant armor as well. We've got the full package, but it seems like they need a little bit more damage coming from Safril for now. The final item most likely gonna be either the Hunter Strike. Seems like he's going for Glass Cannon build. Hopefully it's going to work out in his favor, because as of now, speaking of Glass Cannon, her boss getting picked off for his overzealousness. So that's going to be a little bit of a punishment coming in for Tiger Wong Esports.
I mean, just as we're looking at items as well, Yuktisi is definitely so much more farm than Saffron. He's definitely one item, but they still have to be careful. Takanaga.
How? What? Where did this confidence come from? Because Tiger Wong Esports not being able to catch it, he's just trying it around, testing in waters. And Tiger Wong, they're respecting this. Blade armor purchase coming from Gogun means Yuktisi needs to be a little bit more careful where he uses Inspire. Because he hits the wrong target, he's going to take a lot of damage himself.
Honestly, Rin's Easy with that flicker to reposition the feather airstrike really reminds me of M2 series. Like, it was so classic because normally, like, right now when you play Farsa, you go for something a little more safer, the Purify, to ensure that you don't get CC to death, but he is going all out. This is so much aggression, and which is really necessary to catch GameLab off guard. Because right now, honestly, between these two teams, despite any like goal deficit, it's still pretty neck and neck.
Yeah, Rins is still looking for the glowing one purchase as well, and once he gets that, probably he's going to have a little bit more damage against GameLab. I guess that's going to be the item progression. No, sorry, not glowing one. It's going to be the genius one coming from him instead. And GameLab, however, they still have a lot more damage to work with here. The Moskov is doing well. It's all full item progression as well. Doesn't have the shoes. Looking for the final moment. So it's most likely going to be Immortalities, perhaps, maybe even a Hospital. But Safri going for the Blade of Despair. But considering that he does have the Weapon Master, I guess the Blade of Despair is going to be a little better choice. But the Lord, down to his 50%, Tiger Wong, they're still deciding what they want to do, but we do see a little bit of presence down bottom as well. The ball is going to be zoning them out. He's going to try and push the fight, but Fanny will secure the Lord, and they isolate Google with Darkman. They finish the fight, and Safru gets caught up, and GameLabs now gets a 2-for-0 exchange, and Havos gonna look for more as well, but Tiger Wong, they just completely get pushed back in this fight.
And right now with the Lord in the hands of GameLab and Tiger Wong 2-man down, this is looking really rough for them. They could lose at least another inhibitor, considering their bottom side is so vulnerable. They have to be careful. Feather Airstrike trying to zone them out, clear the way, but Rins is caught out. It's prematurely cancelled.
Oh my goodness, they still have the Lord still standing as well. Google is going to be back in 3 seconds, Safri in 4 seconds. They need to buy time. Resli pops his ultimate, he's getting kite out as well. But the damage coming in from Yuktisi, a little bit too hard to handle. But guess what? It bought enough time. They're trying to trade his life. Google is still alive. A Brazen Ruff comes in, they finish him off, but the Lord is knocking on the crystal. Safri is there to finish him off, but guess what? Takanaga cleans them all out, takes down the crystal, and GameLab takes game 1 against Tiger Wong Esports.
Well, from that 100% audience prediction, you can see why GameLab is the fan favorite.
Well, it all comes down to understanding your timings and your strategy, but GameLab just that much more precise. And somehow, with this clean 1-0 against, I want to say the cleanest, because Tiger Wong, they did really well. And I'm looking for see how the highlights been, because if you think about it, Tiger Wong Esports, they know for a fact that Fanny was one of the biggest threats, and they have the tools to do so. And the moment they started punishing this Fanny a little bit more, GameLab realized and finally respecting their composition, and this is where they shift their target a little bit more, buying a little bit more time and kind of allow UTZ to scale into this game. And once that happens, you can see UTZ is able to do so much more in terms of OD side. And once that happens, like you can see Tiger Wong just couldn't do anything. Like Safri was getting caught out time after time, and who could blame him, right? You've got a stolen Iron Offender, you've got a Wave of Dragon kind of stall them in this pack, and even prior to the Lord fight, Guggen was kicked during mid-animation for the Wave of the Dragon. There's no way he was going to be able to contest the Lord, and GameLab just understood that this was the right thing to do and just clutch out the game microly.
I think overall, Tiger Wong Esports might have tunnel vision a little bit too much. Like, their draft was definitely trying to take Taganaga out of the picture with this Fanny. I think this Fanny really just occupied too much time. It allowed Yuktisi to just like have almost free reign of his lane and became the monster that, well, this Moskov is.
Yeah, it was so difficult to actually play this for Tiger Wong Esports because the win condition for them is to make sure that this Fanny dies, right? And for them to catch a Fanny, they need both the Ruby and the Eden to punish him. Meanwhile, GameLab, all they gotta focus is make sure that Gokun doesn't do his own thing. And they've got Valentina to do kind of his way through, they've got Keto, they've got a Cho, whereas Tiger Wong only has that two heroes to kind of protect Rins to a certain degree, and even Guggen was forced in the situation to actually do that, and it kind of puts them in a very awkward spot where who do they actually protect? Is it Rins or is it Cypher? I wouldn't say that there was something wrong, it all came down to execution, right? Like understanding what you do. Tiger Wong just couldn't do it anymore, because the moment GameLab kind of shift their strategy and their playstyle midway through the game, they felt a little bit lost for Tiger Wong.
Yeah, I mean, overall, GameLab, it's like they knew that they have to disrupt the team fights because they know that that is where Tiger Wong is the strongest at. And I think just giving the Moskov too much free space, I think that's just like called to be punished on.
Yeah.
Like you can see, just like the major source of damage came from the Valentina as well as the Moskov. So the Fanny actually just keep getting caught out, but I think she's just served as a major source of distraction.
Yeah, it was all really smart as well, right? You talk about distraction, Fanny was in middle lane, they forced to separate the team fights, and while this is actually happening, Havos on the Paquito on the other side of the lane, we have UTZ on this side of the lane, they're just getting free value across the map for absolutely free, which kind of bought time. And the moment, like you said as well, shift to their strategy, it just clicked, you know, that they're just buying time, and eventually come to the later stage of the game, there was absolutely nothing Tiger Wong could do. So hopefully game number 2 is going to be a little bit more adaptation. You can start to see the fatigues are coming in. But that's what, you know, beauty about the grand finals. I'm looking forward to see how game 2 is going to go.
But of course, like, all of this would not be possible by our lovely sponsors. We have Snapdragon Elite Gaming, where winning matters, and in this case, winning really does matter, because like the pride of your nation is hanging in the balance.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And GameLab is one game away from being crowned the champion for the Open Finals. And of course, we'll be seeing both the teams later on as well in the Challenge Finals as well, because that is where things get a little bit dicey. But of course, shout out to our partners from Samsung as well, with their Galaxy S23 Ultra, sharing the epic moments and level up your gameplay in Mobile Legends Bang Bang is going to be way to go. And of course, you know, if you guys are looking for a brand new phone, do check them out, because they do give you one of the best pictures on camera as well. And I really love taking pictures and of course playing some Mobile Legends Bang Bang and top of it all. So nevertheless, of course, without also discrediting our another partner as well, we have Monster Energy with Unleashing the Beast, giving us all the energy that you guys need to enjoy the show, and also ourselves to keep us hydrated to carry you through this grand finals.
I mean, like, we can expect a lot of action-packed gameplay, and we definitely want to be able to keep up with all these players. So I'm not an athlete myself, so I think I do need some energy drinks right now to kick me in the zone.
Yep. And last but not least, if you guys are looking for a sweet discount and also cheap diamonds, get yourself as well, you can get great deals and game top-ups with Kachi Shop. Be sure to check them out on www.kachishop.com. And if you're looking for the brand new Jujutsu Kaisen skin,
We love our skins, don't we?
go to their website, buy, okay? If you want a guaranteed one, 6k diamond. That's the minimum. But of course, some of you guys might be a little bit lucky, okay? But nevertheless, we are going to be taking a very short break for the grand finals. We are going to be giving them the break that they need to come back stronger for game number 2. My name is ICP12. She's Monchen. See you guys right after this break.
The Snapdragon Pro Series, powered by Samsung Galaxy, is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
again. I think it's time. The man of the year, I show the run. I waited all my life and now it's showtime.
Well, we are back once again for the grand finals, and this is GameLab's taking 1-0 lead against Tiger Wong Esports all the way from the bottom. Now they are here. Can they uphold their best performance in this second game? Can they bounce back? It's going to be the question. Or will GameLab take the clean 2-0 all the way to their championship title for the Open Finals? Welcome back to the show. Once again, this is the Caster's Desk. My name is ICBaby12. Joined with me is Monchel as we take you through the commentary for the final day of the Snapdragon Pro Series. Mobile Legends Bang Bang first ever season, and of course I'd like to thank you guys at home for joining us for this monumental moment, our first ever season to give you guys for everything mobile gaming right here, right now. And it's nice to be on the show for the Snapdragon Pro Series.
I mean, like, well said. I mean, like, couldn't say it better, Terrence. But overall, it's like, it really comes down to this moment, right? Could GameLabs really close out this game 2-0, or could Tiger Wong finally bite back? Because overall, it's like they were winning out in the early games. They have solutions towards the Fanny, but as mentioned, they probably just I think they really tunnel vision a bit too much. And I think just GameLab is so good at mind games.
Exactly, it's all about the mind games. And guess what? We'd like to shout out to our partners from Snapdragon for providing all the core processors for you guys in your phone. Because when winning matters, it's all about playing the game as crucially as you can. It's all about the big brains, it's all about the mind, and what better than to thank our sponsor Snapdragon for providing all these processor chips for the games and the mobile that they are all using thus far up on screen. And it's been an amazing journey for them. And like Monchel said as well, you know, the game itself is just so interesting, and the diversity in the pickups is just so unique from every single team in every single region. And GameLabs has demonstrated that they are able to adapt on the fly, and game one was a absolute dominance coming from them and masterclass performance in how they are able to adapt strategy. But so far, let's take a look at the predictions so far. 100% win rate for GameLab, which is, guys, this is not fair. Guys, where's the Tiger Wong Esports?
Where's the love,
where's
everyone?
the love for
It's
Tiger
like,
Wong, man? Come on. Is production? Is this prediction from casters, or is it prediction from the guys in chat? That's not fair, man. That doesn't make sense. Okay, I feel bad for Tiger Wong Esports. I know I kind of hopped a little bit, but I still keep my 100% prediction so far. Every time on screen, every game I've casted, predictions on point. Can I get the 100%? Not sure yet, because GameLab, if they win this game, 100%, but if Tiger Wong drags it to game number 3, I'm satisfied with it, because in life, nothing goes as smooth and sailing here. There's ups and downs. Eventually, that's what we call such is life. C'est la vie in France.
I think overall, I would say that, you know, the fans are relentless. We are relentless in terms of but overall actions speak louder than words.
Ooh,
because
fair point.
I mean, the meta has adjusted in a way where any composition could be a winning one. But just how they adjust, how you adapt, and how you work with the chess pieces that you already have to close out the game. I think that's the beauty of MLBB right now.
Exactly. You know, it all comes down to how they think their strategies, because now coming to the draft, the brains, the bronze, the strategies, it all comes down to how you pull it off. In this case, game 1, they were able to adapt in the drafts by picking heroes, denying potential picks to kind of enable their hero pickups. Because if you think about it, they drafted a Fanny, picked up a Cho in the final stage, which is awkward and weird considering that Cho is not necessarily meta, but considering that they want to kind of deny Tiger Wong those kind of opportunities, which if you think about it, Cho was picked by Tiger Wong Esports, that Fanny would have a even more difficult time on top of what already happened in game 1. So this time again, GameLab taking first pick again. Do they respect Tiger Wong Esports' hero pool, or do they fix a little bit more? Seems like standard bans coming again from GameLab, denying the Kadita again.
I do wonder why they ban out the Kadita, because I don't have I recalled that Rins has ever played the Kadita before?
I guess, but if you think about it, Kadita is in an awkward situation, right? Where it's one of the very few mages where you can play it as a roamer, you can play it as hard mage. But in terms of damage DPS, it's not exactly the strongest when it comes to prolonged fights. But if you can get the one shot on crucial heroes, it completely changes the dynamic of the team fight and enabling the junglers as well as the gold lane to fight. So it makes a lot of sense. And I think one good example on how things went now was the lower bracket finals between both PBN Strike against Tiger Wing Esports. First game, you know, the Kadita just completely changed the entire table. Like, Tiger Wong was just so afraid to even go out to check bushes, which you don't really want to concede too much of a map control. So I guess that's the idea from GameLab. It's not easy playing against the Kadita, but Fanny is something that they both sides can handle. Tiger Wong, they will respect the cool front from Darkman, ban it off. Do they ban more of Darkman heroes?
Right now, it's like they're like, you can't stock Darkman, but they're also respecting on the side of Daidudo and ensuring that his Kaja, his signature Franco, doesn't get picked off. Because like, yeah, you could pick up the Kadita, but the Kaja, one Divine Judgment, the minute she resurface from the waters, you can just drag her along.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh
1-1 finally being split off. GameLab is gonna be picking it up for themselves. So far, 4 times picked with a 50% win rate thus far. GameLab taking 1-1. However, Tiger Wong Esports, they do have experience dealing with a 1-1. They have a pretty solid Lolita player coming in from Dadu. Do they force the first pick Lolita, or is it gonna be denied from GameLab? Because this is something that GameLab loves doing a lot. Meta, non-meta. If I want to amplify my meta, I'm going to pick heroes that make sure that the opponents can pick it in order to deal with their current meta hero. And so far, Lolita is one of the best solutions to it. Phoveus is also a very situation, but GameLab says we're going to deny the Ruby away from Dadu. So looks like they want to force him to play the Edith, but so far we haven't seen Terrence, Edith for a while.
Hear me out. Yep. I have seen cheese strats where Valentina just built the 1-1 build and just kept going on and still her ultimate just even have crossbow tank instantly.
It's weird, right? Because back then, Valentina, if you steal the crossbow tanks, you can instantly pop
instant,
it.
Yeah.
Now you can't. Now you actually need to proc the 3 hits in and then be able to proc it out. So it's very awkward interaction now compared to back in the days. Hate it, but personally, I would have wanted it back a little bit more for the Valentina. But considering Valentina has mobility, I guess it's not that hard. But yeah, I don't think it's a good one. Feather Air Strike is going to be a definite better option. The I'm Offended as well is going to be a much more reliable tool for the Valentina. The steal for Tiger Wong Esports, but I'm surprised they actually drafted the Forza into the Valentina from the Game Labs, which is interesting for me.
It's like, I have seen this several times where they're okay allowing them getting the Feather Airstrike because Valentina might consider other options like the I'm Offended. So you're kind of basically overloading Rins with the amount of ultimates you could potentially sell them and steal. So you're like, in a way, mind games, you know? You're really giving him, I'm giving you options, but which is better for that situation? Because ideally you hold on to it. You hold on to that ult, and when the perfect moment hits, you procced it.
I guess if you put it that way, but at the same time, Lolita will be banned from Game Labs, so surprise enough, it is going to get denied as well. Tiger Wong also watching the games coming from Game Lab. They know for a fact that they're keeping their junglers in the final pick. They will ban off the Link. Fredrin completely ignored from both sides thus far in the stage game. I think it makes a lot of sense as well, but at the same time, I believe I do recall that GameLab does play in a higher booster jungle, which is something that I think Tiger Wong Esports may have left out a little bit more. But what I do know, Mortis also a prio pick that is completely ignored from both sides. Both Fredrin and Mortis completely ignored right now.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Oh, wow! Okay. Alright, you know, Game Labs has pretty much played assassin jungles almost every single game. I guess Tiger Wong Esports wants to put Take Naga in a situation where he's forced to play a tank jungler instead. I think based on his stats so far, it's always been assassins for now. And a Fredrin, if I do recall correctly. But okay, Natalia also being banned off. A little bit of cheese strategies. They're reading very, very hard into it for both sides. Fredrin, Mortis, both out in the equation as well. Both teams can actually pick it up themselves. So I guess it's which of the I would say pick your poison, I guess,
I
on
think
both sides.
I think I would prefer Mardis on the side of Tiger Wong.
Yeah.
Because like I think they have enough I think they will have enough peel. But ooh, the Grok once again. I guess going into the hands of Rexel, yeah.
I guess if you put it this way, right, like it's either or they are gonna pick up one jungler, right? There's no way they pick up Mortis as well as a Frederick into the game. They would take the priority pickup, and having the XP Grok isn't too bad. Having a junk, actually roaming Grok isn't too bad as well. But I would be really surprised if Tiger Wong decides to try and pull the PBN strike composition by putting the Edith jungle. That would be really, really interesting to watch. Highly unlikely, but GameLab, they finally picked up Fanny, and the glue also being sneaked up so far off. The Grok is a great way to deal with the Fanny, and alongside with Fanny, with the Edith, I like this a little bit more. Tiger Wong Esports, they have to deal with this Fanny not once but 2 games in a row. Okay.
Alright, but overall they decide that okay, instead of the Mardis, which is completely ignored by both sides, they're going with the Fredrin pick, which I guess it's a lot safer. But I do wonder, it's like, you know, with this kind of composition from GameLab, will he have enough time to proc the Appraisal's Wrath? It's quite difficult, right? It's rough.
I think I like this composition from Tiger Wong a little bit more. It's a little bit of an adaptation from game number 1. They have solutions for the Fanny, but the question here is, do they have solutions for the 1-1? So that's going to be a little bit of a what if situations, but as of yet, they still have a pretty solid composition. So the drops are pretty much set. They have clear indicators on how to do the Fanny, way much more better utilities compared to game number 1. Whereas GameLab, they have adapted, picking the Ruby to deny it away from Do-Da-Dee-Da-Do. That's an interesting idea as well. I was expecting the Cho pickup, but okay. Let's see how it goes.
I'm thinking like they're okay. I'm like, I think the style for documents like okay, I played this hero. I'm pretty tired with it. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going into our potentially our final match of today. It's GameLab versus Tiger Wong Esports as we're back in the land of Dawn.
Well, is GameLab going to take 2-0 or is Tiger Wong going to bounce back? Because as of yet, I feel like there is a very, very huge possibility. And as of yet, harassment has been made. Do-Da-Do, taking a little bit too much damage. Going for a pull yourself together emblem instead. I guess he wants to be in the fights a little bit more with the flicker, try and set up for the Fanny. But speaking of which, Gugun once again, this time he's learned his lessons. He is going to try and harass his way through, but he's taking a little bit too much damage. Well, it seems like to see a little bit of a history coming in, not once but twice in a row. Rins, does he go for it? I don't think he knows.
He can.
doesn't.
He is aware of the risk, but he actually takes one down bottom side. Wow, I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, there's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade-off. Aizawa getting picked off on the bottom lane, so that's a little bit of a pick-off for trade-offs. But most importantly right now is that they cannot afford the trade with the Fanny, and Gugun losing his life not once but twice in 2 games it feels like he's just underestimating what Takenaga can actually do, and with the high and dry, that's exactly what Takenaga wants if you think about it.
I mean,
bottom lane, easy, he's gonna get harassed his way through, but Do-Da-Do doesn't necessarily have the wall charge yet, so Yukizi's gonna be fine for now.
Yeah, he's only level 2. So I think the plan is, because like no matter what Gugun on the Fredrin, he will definitely is vulnerable to Fanny. A lot of the early game damage, he definitely needs items to scale up towards the game. So it's gonna be quite rough. Rex will be trying to be around to like prioritize the turtle, but I would say Gugun is still taking his orange buff.
Yep, Havos gonna be baiting out with the turtle, but Takenaga finally secures the purple buff in position to contest this. He's got the damage, and Rexy taking a little bit too much. The split comes in, but eventually the turtle actually being stolen away by Tiger Wong Esports instead with the Edith. Takenaga missing the retry, but at the same time, bottom lane is also having a skirmish as well. This is a complete split fight coming in from both sides, but eventually Tiger Wong somehow manages to trade the objectives, and Do-Da-Do also running out for their lives while picking away at UTZ.
They forced out the flicker from X-Bulk, and unfortunately he did get the spin sticks onto the Edith, but Rex in his ultimate form has a massive HP skill at just level 4. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so weird, but still, mistakes were made, and this is going to help Tiger Wong a little bit more, but looking not too happy about this place. Takenaga is going to finish him off. Meanwhile, Gugun is here to try and challenge Aizawa. Could not get the auto tag in, so they are going to be able to disengage. Boss be joining the fight as well. Calling in Rexley, the full team is here to try and challenge this. But it seems like they just can't do anything from both sides.
Yeah, I mean, High and Dry and Fanny, it's like Riz.
What?
Unfortunately, it's just such a such a weird interaction by
Dogman?
Dogman. Wild charge out of there.
Okay, Dogman, you know, he thought he could actually finish off the Grog, but at the same time, underestimated the wall charge. But fortunate for them, he is going to bait things out for now. So that means the Fanny is going to be able to do a little bit more. GameLab, however, they're shifting the focus on the 1-1 a little bit more down bottom lane. Clock of Destiny up on Rins. Nothing out of the ordinary yet for both sides. Playing a little bit of a stalemate, trying to figure out what's the strategy. So I guess playing it towards the middle stage of the game is going to be the meta. Playing it safe from both sides, not taking the risk. Especially now, considering that it is the Grand Finals. However, as soon as I say that, bottom lane seems to be the focus. Rins showing himself a little bit more, but doesn't want to give the crossbow and tank procs for now. So that's going to be disengaged once again from both sides.
I think right now, I feel like both teams are playing really carefully because they're aware of their win conditions. They need items, they need time to scale up. Because as you mentioned, mid game is where we will see the most team fights that happen. The Takanaga will get a head start on this turtle. I don't think there'll be any contest whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a little bit too late as well. Tiger Wong just making a smart play. Maybe waiting for the third turtle contest for now. But unless Rexley steals it again, not happening this time.
Nah.
However, Havos, he does have the split. Gugun is isolated. He finally latches him on. But Gugun says, I'm going to pull it back for the Fanny. And it's going to be a wall spam coming in. But Gugun, he does have the sustainabilities, but he doesn't have the appraisal draft proc to do so. Finally gets taken down, but the Fanny also getting traded off for this aggression. Phantom Airstrike coming in from GameLab is going to try and finish off Dada Didu. The side steps comes in, but it's not going to be enough. While this is happening, Havos survives the onslaught coming from Tiger Wong and slips to tell the tale.
I mean, but...
Uh-oh, bottom lane.
No, that's so rough. No. I was thinking like, okay, he popped up the blazing duet, but you're allowing UTZ to get off the crossbow.
Oh my goodness.
Was that a misplay?
Like, it was a 50-50 trade until this happened. Yuktz finding the moments that he needs, and now a full tower 1 down bottom. Yuktz scaling very, very quickly. He doesn't have to choose. He's got the corrosion side. But as of yet, here comes the engagement coming in. Predator Astra comes in. A big time of Fender catches on 3. GameLab, they're looking to pile up under, but they don't have the damage. Split comes in from Havos, needs to disengage, but he re-engages. He wants to force the fight, but his entire team bailed on him. That is going to be Havos buying for a borrowed time for now, and he will die in the hands, in the fangs of Tiger Wong Esports.
Maybe he fat fingered a little and he, latched himself onto Tiger Wong. It happens, it happens to the best of the glue players out there.
Oh, feels bad moment. GameLab build on him a little bit too soon, but economy-wise, it is going to help Tiger Wong a little bit more. 3k behind, it's not the end of the world, but Takenaga is starting to scale the situation where he stopped playing aggressive. And this is really smart because as soon as I say that, Yuktz decides to be a little bit aggressive. They pick off 1 and 2, and that's going to be a double kill for Yuktz, while Safru going to be stranded as well. Takenaga is looking to bully him out, but he doesn't want to risk this. And that's going to be Tiger Wong continuing with their lead.
Overall, I think that's the value of the Claude. BMI out of there, just into wet safety. But overall, it's like the fact that he was able to give Yuktz that turret for free with that, I would say, slight bit of a misplay. Once again, Takenaga is in this spot where he's able to take objectives, no contest, because right now Tiger Wong has to worry about the other members pressuring their other lanes.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Havos going for the split as well. Rexley is going to get caught out of Yuktz. Oh no, that's a mega kill for Yuktz. Tiger Wong Esports just doesn't know what they can do, but they're calling the Grok to come in. Havos does have the second split if he decides to go for it, and yes, he will proc it out. He's looking to latch off, and he finally latches Rins, but guess what? Rins split himself up to get off the glue, but at the same time, Havos still trying to pull back the back lines, but Tiger Wong, they've got the whole team here. Finally, the Fanny joins to say hello. They take down Gugu, and Tiger Wong trying to isolate Havos, and this time, they will take him down. The pesky little glue, and GameLabs still playing it safe. UTZ in position to contest for objectives, and Tiger Wong, they've used up so much utilities. But as soon as I say this, Takenaga comes in again, and it is going to be a kill for UTZ as they catch off Rixley one by one, bit by bit. Feathered airstrike from Aizawa, just enough to take down Rins, and Dada-Di-Do-Da-Do. What can he do on his Grok? Safrio getting harassed. UTZ taking a little bit too much, but Takenaga thinking if he wants to go for it. They're getting picked up and bullied, played, and fumbled like toys. GameLab just completely messing with Tiger Wong right now. Dadi-do-da-do,
He's running.
making
He's still
space
running. He's
with the wall
trying.
charge. Will eventually die. Monster kill for Yukizi.
I know.
Oh my god, Safrio blazing duet. Can he run?
He can!
Woo! That was so close indeed.
I'm seeing like how this glue pick is so annoying, but that moment when Rin steal the split was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a pretty funny interaction, but GameLab, they're just playing with food at this stage of the game. They're so far in the lead, but 4K net worth disadvantage for Tiger Wong. The only way they come back is they need Safrio to come online, and so far, as long as Safrio survives throughout the entire onslaught, it's gonna be good. But as soon as I say this, Takenaga making an attempt, Warchard comes in, but the I'm Offended comes in, pulls him about a big feathered X-Ray, scares him off. They need to back up, but the damage just enough to take Risley. Safrio finally shows up with the blazing duet, but gets stopped by Dockman, and they have to disengage, and they survive. Tiger Wong gets absolutely nothing. They take Takenaga, but was it worth it? But yes, it is, because it is going to buy a little bit more time. Yukizi getting a little bit arrogant with his plays. The conceal play comes in, almost catching him, and yes, they do catch him, courtesy of Rins with that pickoff.
That shutdown going into the hands of Vince is going to really like play in towards the value of Tiger Wong Esports, because honestly, UTZ, I think he was just getting really overconfident, and where was that mega kill?
Okay, solo kill down bottom. Safrio getting caught out means the Lord is going to be up for grabs. So boss buying a little bit more time. They're calling in the team as well. Gugun says, I'm going to try and force the far side. Aizawa is going to be able to sidestep his way through. Gugun getting focused down bit by bit. He does have the appraiser's route later on, but Takenaga not having the purple buff is going to put him in a very awkward situation. So they have to back out. They have to respect this. Tiger Wong not pushing with the pressure. They're playing it a little bit safe as well. But here he comes, Dogman looking for I'm Offended. Misses it. Rexley will disengage for now. And it's going to be a stalemate for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like, this is the classic, I'm going to dance around the Lord, and I'll see who makes a mistake first. Because, as mentioned, both these teams, like, their composition right now is playing around, like, I think, yes, GameLab does play around pickoffs, but they are more teamfight-centric with the Feather Airstrike, which they're playing around. So it's really...
Needs to play a little safe. Conceal plays comes in, means no targets for him to attack. But pay attention to the back lines. Her boss in position to go in for the split. They're waiting for time once again. Gugun is there, but her boss, he's overcommitted as well. But at the sidelines as well. Guess what? UTZ's got the mobility. Guess what? They're going for the snipe. They do catch off Riz, and that's huge. Witch of Nations comes in. Safrio not giving in the crossbow tanks, and UTZ doesn't have the animation available. Finally gets it, but eventually the rest of GameLabs collapse on them with the feathered dash, right? They take down Riz. They take down Safrio, and now her boss brings back another target, and that's gonna be Rixley getting taken now, and Takenaga will try to pick up the pieces, and Tiger Wong Esports lose 3 for absolutely nothing. And GameLab is looking to get the clean 2-0, and Gugun trying his best. He gets pulled back, he gets shut down once again. 4 down for Tiger Wong Esports. Rins and Dada-Dudu is back, but where's the damage gonna come from? And GameLab says, you know what, it's not worth it. We're gonna focus for the Lord for now.
I mean, smart players, I mean, not over-forcing it, because I think we have saw how Tiger Wong could punish them for their over-aggression. Like, see so many times that UTZ like has got all 3 weakness points, but he, like his teammates just burst them down so fast he's unable to proc the crossbow.
Oh my goodness. But at the same time, GameLab, they will take the huge marginal lead. It was just a little bit of a distraction by UTC, and somehow GameLab always finds the opportunity to brain their opponents. And in this case, Tiger Wong, the moment they reacted was pretty much their downfall, because they're playing right into the hands of what GameLab is intending to do, which is distract them, pick them apart. And in this case, UTZ once again with the confidence to
Oh
play this as well.
my
The jump comes in, but he
word, no!
gets the crossbow attacks right in the nick of time. The catch from Rexley, not enough to connect. So unlucky for Rexley. However, with the Lord coming in, they need to make a play if they want to defend the championship title. Meanwhile, GameLabs is looking to close out this game.
They're looking so good right now. Close to 10K
Oh
goal
my
lead,
goodness,
but
the I'm offended coming in from Dogma. The
Blazing
Blazing
Duet
Duet comes in as well, but there's no damage. The Feather Extra comes in. They picked out Gugun. 1-for-0. GameLab needs to run for it, but Takenaga will focus on the tier 3 while the Lord's still standing. They're all getting picked up one by one. The split comes in, but UTZ survives the onslaught and they clutch out 2-0. Ladies and gentlemen, GameLab is your champion for the Open Finals.
I mean, that's it, folks. You have your champions. GG. Well played for GameLab. 2-0 sweep for this entire Open Finals. What a team. Really, what a team.
What a game coming in from GameLabs. What a dominant performance. Started from the upper brackets, 2-0 their way in the grand finals, taking the #1 spot. GG, well played for the Philippines. Meanwhile, in case you missed out in the action, these are the highlights for game number 2, GameLab. They were just picking them bit by bit. This 1-1 eventually scaled to a point where it was just so very difficult to fight their fights.
I mean, overall, I feel like GameLab, as you mentioned, was just toying with Tiger Wong, messing with them mentally, because you can see so many times like members of GameLab is taken so low. Like basically, Dogman was like no HP left when he was recalling in that bush over there, and this X-Pac on this glue, I think like one of the final picks in towards the Jeff really just caught Tiger Wong off guard, and like, I feel like overall they just got outplayed so hard.
Yeah, you have to give credit to UTZ as well. For him to have the confidence to play that position with 4 people right in the face and still being able to set up a play for the team, that's crazy, because that should have been impossible. But at the same time, Tiger Wong, they did their best, but eventually the damage was a little bit too much. The economy lead was a little bit too far ahead for GameLabs as well. They had a 10k net worth lead into this final fight. There was absolutely nothing that Tiger Wong could have done in this CG game. So I would say GG will play 2 games in a row, Fanny being slid off. There is a reason why it's top tier bands, and congratulations to GameLabs because they are walking away with $2,000 from the Open Finals, and we will still see both these teams in towards the Challenge Finals.
I mean, I gotta say, I mean, like this is why 1-1 is like a must ban. Like the minute it's just slipped through the cracks, there's almost like, yes, you could try and encounter it, but the minute you're able to get crossbow, he has items up, well, this is the result of it.
Yeah, it's just so annoying to do it, right? Like UTZ, you know, like 1-1 is just super underrated, but to pull
underrated?
I would say underrated to a certain degree, where it's not necessarily strong, but at the same time, in the right hands, it's extremely annoying to deal with, right? And I would say it's extremely difficult to play the hero itself, because if you think about it, gambling on the fact that you don't have shoes means that your position when in terms of movement has to be so precise, and you cannot have any room for error. And UTZ was able to do that in that fight, in the final fight, where he was able to calculate his distance, bait out Tiger Wong Esports' spells, and then set up a team fight for his teammate, which was ridiculous to pull off. And so you have to give props to UTZ for that play.
I mean, like just based off like his previous plays, his Harv Golding from yesterday, his performance on 1-1, he really makes so much magic with these marksman pickup. You can see, oh man,
100k damage.
That's
wow.
it. That's it right there. Highest team fight participation as well, 70%.
Yep. GG well play to GameLab. Hopefully we will see them once again. Actually, we will see them in the following weeks to come, because that is where all the best of the best from every region will be included in this bloody pool. And seeing the lower 8, I'm looking to see how the top 8 happens later on. But before that, let's talk about the MVP for this championship round, the grand finals.
Man.
It is going to be none other than UTZ on his 1-1. He is the MVP.
I mean, like, if with a performance like that, I'm not surprised. With a KDA of 6.2, kill population, as I mentioned, 70%, GPM 698 wheel, and damage per minute 4,151. I mean, when your team is so ahead, like, when we were closing out the game, it was like I was thinking they were sitting around 9k towards 10.
Yeah, GG well played to UTZ, and I'm looking forward to see how GameLab performs themselves in towards the later stage of the game. But all in all, this is pretty much the grand finals. I hope you guys enjoyed the Open Finals final day because it has been an amazing journey for the past 2 weeks. A lot of amazing games, a lot of sad moments for the teams that are trying to qualify in towards the Challenge Finals, and that is going to be very, very soon as well because we have pretty much seen the top 2 and top 3 of every single region qualifiers. I'm looking forward to see how the top 1 happens in the following weeks to come. But before that, I'd like to shout out to our amazing partners here. We have Samsung to thank for all this amazing setup here with the Galaxy S23 Ultra. You can always share your epic moments and level up your gameplay for Mobile Legends Bang Bang. And be sure to check it out because these are some amazing phones. It's got a lot of camera angles for you to take advantage as well. And taking pictures can never be better as well. And she loves taking pictures. I think she has one as well.
I mean, overall, I would say like who does not like taking great pictures, and like what better to look your best with this amazing phone. So do consider checking out their shop. But considering everything, we have to also thank Monster unleashing the beast within yourself because that's definitely what we saw with that 1-1 gameplay. We can go to this website to get your share of Monster today.
Exactly, and of course to keep you guys hydrated in towards tough times and keep you guys energized in working out and also playing some amazing Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Be sure to check it out. While this is all happening here, it has been fun and games for the Snapdragon Pro Series, but let's take a look at the final time for the brackets and how all the teams has been played so far. And currently I can say that GameLab's PBN Strike Error 404. Sorry, wait, let me rephrase this, right? GameLab PBN Strike, Tiger Wong Esports, ALVA 8, Evo Esports, Sway Esports is still in the running for the challenging final. So these are pretty much your top 8 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, my math's a little bit...
I think we're missing one potentially, but I would say we will be able to see overall of our top 16 teams that will be going for the Challenger Series.
Yeah. And of course, GameLab also taking the clean 2-0 from the start all the way through. They pretty much won the fights here. But of course, let's talk about the Open Qualifiers top 1 teams that is going to be playing later on for the Challenge Season Finals. And of course, this is coming in from the Indonesia region. The 2 top 1 teams is going to be A8 Esports as well as GPX.
I mean, that's enough say. I mean, I can't wait to see how these top 1 teams will perform. But I would say let's look at from our Malaysia, Singapore region. We got Egoist as well as TUPAI Esports.
Well, this is going to be a little bit interesting as well because we have not seen any of these 4 teams play on screen yet. And hopefully when they show up, they are going to be living in swinging because so far, all the games from the top 2, top 3 of each qualifiers has demonstrated a lot of capabilities of making it to the top. But of course, next up is going to be from the Philippines as well. Going to be first time on screen. We have not seen how they play as well. We have Euphoria Esports as well as MHRLK Esports.
That's a really interesting name. I wonder what's the, the full...
Initial?
Yeah. I'm really curious about that. I probably have to Google them up. Or anyone in the chat, please do let us know what is their full name.
Actual names, probably. Maybe the first name of all the players could be a very, very big possibility. So I'm looking forward to see whether they perform because Philippines has dominated in the third and second. So these are the 2 potential teams that kind of put GameLabs down here. So I'm looking forward to see what they are going to be bringing to the table. However, the final region here, we have from Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, as well as Laos region. We have the Drift representing from Cambodia and See You Soon also from Cambodia. A very, very familiar scene in the international scene from Tier 1 as well as Tier 2 team. See You Soon. It's been a while and I'm looking forward to see them this time up on screen.
Definitely, we will be seeing them very soon as the Challenger Series will be starting 2 weeks from now. Yeah, Terrence, I was just waiting for that moment.
And let's take a look at all the qualified teams for the Challenge Season fights here. These are your top 16 teams. It is going to be completely reshuffled. We have A8 Esports, GPX, Egoist, TUPAI Esports, Euphoria Esports, MHRLK Esports, See You Soon, and The Drift.
And on the other side, advanced from the Open Finals, we have ALVA 8, PBN Strike, Tiger Wong Esports, Miracle Gaming, GameLab, Sway Esports, Error 404, as well as EVO Esports.
So we have 3 teams from Cambodia, 4 teams from the Philippines, and 6 teams from Indonesia, and 2 teams from Malaysia / Singapore, I believe. Yeah, / Singapore. So technically it's 1 Malaysia, 1 Singapore. And it's going to be interesting because this is going to be a bloodbath. And EVO Esports being the only Laos team that made it so far in this qualified team. So I don't know. I don't want to expect. I really want to see how the challenge season is going to be happening as well, because the best are finally included into this screen and anything can happen.
Man, this was just the open finals. What does the challenge series have to bring to the table?
Yeah, I genuinely feel bad for those on the right side because they've pretty much shown a lot of the strategy. But on the left side team, there's just so much under the radar. Maybe a little bit more in CU soon. We have seen them in the international tournaments here and there. But I really want to see what is going to be set up in stalls, because who are these people? They're on the left side. They kick down GameLabs, PBN Strike, Tiger WONG Esports, all the way down here to in a very, very bloody bath. And EVO Esports on top of it as well, because they do have Xandri in the picture, which is a prominent name in the industry. So for them to be put down in this place just shows you there are a lot of raw and fresh talents across the world and looking to be inspired and potentially make it into the pro scene.
I mean, overall, like, I think that's the goal. It's like you're aspiring from semi-pro in order to get into those big leagues, because without these tournaments, all of this would not be possible.
Yep. And all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed the show so far, and it's glad to have you guys still in the channel with us, and proud to be your caster for today. And shout out to all of you guys who's been sticking throughout with us as well, and shout out to Monshell for joining us on this cast for this final historical moment. And I'm looking forward to see you guys in the near future for the challenge season. But all in all, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Any final words here, Monshell?
I mean, overall, I'm just happy to be here. I mean, I'm not sure if you see me after this because, you know, I'm just a special guest, as you mentioned, for today.
Well, she is an amazing caster. She has done a fantastic job so far. And I hope you guys agree with me. But so far, 100% prediction, baby! Husky owes me a burger. But at the same time, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, and hope I will see you guys in the next week. My name is ICB12. She's Monchel. We'll see you guys for the challenge season.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Won't stop going till a player on top know it. Rooftop, penthouse suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fight through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion. We put in this time. Look. You won't stop.
La 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 la. Bin immer happy auf Fotos, doch im Blitzlicht der Strobo frag ich mich schon, wo du jetzt bist und vermiss dich so. 1000 Augen auf mir und ich schein immer zu lächeln und glücklich zu sein. Doch ohne dich fühle ich mich zwischen tausenden Leuten allein. Nur mit dir kann ich sein, wie ich bin, nur mit dir. Wir tanzen so, als ob keiner zusieht, ganz egal wo. Zusammen sind wir mutig und wir beide drehen so auf, als ob es nur uns zwei gibt und singen so laut diese Melodie. Lelele, 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 flieg mit mir auf dem Beat. Lelele, 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 als ob uns keiner sieht. Du bist mein Dojo, ohne dich bin ich solo. Zwischen Tokio und Soho denk ich an dich und die Sehnsucht ist so groß. Denn mit dir kann ich Luftschlösser bauen. Wir zwei sind immer ein bisschen zu laut. Ganz ohne Ziel, ganz ohne Plan. Mit dir durchzudrehen hab ich so sehr gebraucht. Nur mit dir kann ich sein, wie ich bin. Nur mit dir. Wir tanzen so, als ob keiner zusieht, ganz egal wo. Zusammen sind wir mutig und wir beide drehen so auf, als ob es nur uns zwei gibt und singen so laut diese Melodie. Lelele, 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 flieg mit dir auf dem Beat. Lelele, 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 immer wieder repeat. Lelele, lelele, lelele.